I believe it is a pretty strong rotation,
A
both
new
from
tornado warning has
the
been
St.
issued.
Louis radar and also the Paducah radar will show it very well. You'll see some very strong velocities there, so a bit of a radar hole here. But please, y'all watch out in northern Iron County, Missouri, and into Madison County, Missouri.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
New
We've got
information. This tornado
maybe a tornado
warning
warning
has been
coming soon
upgraded.
for Desark and Annapolis. Y'all get ready to take shelter. Also, Piedmont, Greenville. You guys have got an extremely strong storm heading towards you over here in Missouri. I want to go back to Indiana, and then we're going to go check on those new warnings. The storm that was producing 90-mile-per-hour winds over here near Mount Vernon, that is now just a regular 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning. So Evansville, you guys should get ready for a really big storm here, but I don't think it's going to be the same monster that maybe we thought it was going to be when it had that more classic bow echo shape.
A new
Real quick,
tornado warning
my goodness,
has
we
been
got
issued.
so many new warnings to cover. Exactly what we talked about earlier is happening now in our flash flood emergency. Okay, the orientation of our warm front is kind of aligning itself with this area again. We're going to see several hours of torrential rain here. The waters will rise again if you are in Springfield, Portland, and Westmoreland in Tennessee, north of Nashville. We'll probably even see some expansions to that flash flood emergency to the west and to the east as significant flash flooding begins over the next little bit. Okay, so let's check out these new tornado warnings. Huntsville, Alabama is officially under a tornado warning now. We need everybody in that town to take shelter as the Athens storm is now past Athens for the most part and moving towards Capshaw, Oakland, and Huntsville. More immediately towards French Mill, East Limestone, and Fairview. We may have a tornado down here, so we need you to take shelter. Okay. And then we've also got the storm that Brad was on. I think he's abandoned it. But I still think that it's likely producing a tornado or about to. I don't know, but it's something's going on here near Howell Mill. So we need to make sure that just because Brad Arnold's abandoning this storm, he's probably just going to go check on his family down there in North Alabama. Everybody knows that this is still a serious situation, and we could have a tornado coming for you here in Howell Mill, Corridor Crossroads, Flintville, Sycamore Swamp, and Huntland in Tennessee. All right. A little bit farther to the east, north and east of Scottsboro, Alabama. We've got a rotation signature near Hollywood and Bellefonte. Moving up Highway 72 towards Yucca and Sulphur Springs in Alabama. You guys are under a tornado warning. Take shelter. No tornado warning with the storm moving up towards Chickamauga. But this is definitely a considerable severe thunderstorm warning with golf ball size hail. And we just got a huge considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Athens, Tennessee, Charleston, Tennessee, and Dayton, Tennessee. Get ready for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping pong ball-sized hail in those areas. The tornado warning continues for the next 35 minutes for Palmer, Tennessee. And the rotation there is let up a little bit, but we still have a potential tornado trying to form near Fremont, moving towards Colmont, and once again, moving towards Collins, Bakertown, and Palmer in Tennessee. You got to take shelter. Knoxville, Tennessee is now under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Nothing tornadic with that as far as we can tell right now. So just get indoors and away from windows, and you should be fine. It probably won't happen soon enough, but at some point all of these storms will kind of congeal together, and we're going to see this turn into a big time damaging wind threat. However, right now it's still very much a tornado. We see some convergence between our winds here. We've got some rotation building around a pretty well-defined hook echo near Hammondville, Alabama, and that's going to be moving into Georgia here soon. So that's exactly the kind of storm that would usually get a tornado warning. So we'll see what happens. But y'all watch out in Battelle, Head River, Kalen, and all these places along the border of Alabama and Georgia. Still want you in your safe spots in Huntsville as well. The good news with this storm is the really nasty look that this storm once had is not quite there as much now. However, it could be going through a cycle, so we don't want you to, let your guard down over there in Huntsville, but hopefully it's not going to be too bad for you.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
A new tornado warning in Texas. We're going to go look at that right here in a second. But speaking of Texas, somebody's watching on an airplane right now, and they sent us this awesome video of the storms that are between Texas and Oklahoma right now, and you can see the lightning there with those storms. I imagine flying over or around these storms in Tennessee right now would be an incredibly crazy experience. The amount of lightning that's coming out of these storms is nuts. But thank you for sending that in. That's Alex or Alexage. All right, that new tornado warning in Texas is going to be way down here, south of Sulphur Springs. Miller Grove, Divide, Greenview, Shirley, Tazewell, Martin Springs, take shelter now. We do have rotation. We've got a supercell. And usually that's what it takes to get a tornado warning. So we're watching this closely. We'll let you know if there's any other developments with that. Right now it's just, hey, run-of-the-mill warning, get to shelter. You know the drill over there in Texas. You should anyways. So far tonight, we've seen quite a few tornadoes. I don't know the details, but it feels like we've probably seen more tornadoes today than we have any other day during this outbreak, this multi-day severe weather outbreak. Rogersville, Alabama. So, this is an unconfirmed report, but I believe it. Look at this. I think we have another unwarned tornado right now. This is a picture sent to me on social media from Melissa near Rogersville, Alabama, of what looks to be like a large stovepipe tornado. If we come over to the radar and we look at Rogersville, look at that. Right there, coming up to Cedar Grove, we've got a velocity couplet and probably a tornado down right now coming towards Cedar Grove, Cairo, Hickory Hills, Cartwright. No tornado warning with that right now. Unbelievable. And here, once again, this is what that looked like 10 minutes ago from Melissa. Melissa, we can't thank you enough for sending that in. That's unbelievable.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So, once again, we've got an unwarned, potentially big tornado on the ground here. coming over towards Cedar Grove, Romine, Confluence, and Cairo in northern Alabama. And then we just got a new tornado warning. This time for Kaolin and Bethel in Alabama. We were just talking about this area. So we'll probably see that extended out into Georgia as well.
Hey Ryan, this is Brad. Stream is back up, obviously. That area south of Fayetteville is an awful area for service, but we are dropping south right now to that intensifying circulation, headed straight to downtown Huntsville, which is obviously my hometown. So not a very good feeling chasing there, but that's where we're headed right now, headed south on 231.
All right. Thank you, Brad. So once again, this storm over here near Rogersville, Alabama looks pretty concerning. It is about to undergo a pretty big merger, so any tornado that is down currently might hopefully go away soon. But man, if this is a real picture that I've got here, which it seems like it is, quite the storm to go unwarned, unfortunately. There could still be a tornado here, though, between Confluence and Cedar Grove, okay? We just got a new big tornado warning.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
For Huntland, Hightop, Belvedere, in between Tennessee and Georgia. Big area of rotation approaching Flintville right now. We could have a tornado either forming or about to form, and that's coming right up to Flintville, Sycamore Swamp, Shady Grove, Huntland, and Brown Mill. Take shelter now. That was sent to me on social media there. Obviously, we thank you a lot for sending that to us. But the moment somebody sends something like that to me, if you guys see that, please tag the National Weather Service, especially if we can confirm that it's real and that it's something that we need them to worry about. We don't want to bog them down. But, tag me. If you send something like this in, tag me and the National Weather Service every time, because obviously they can use that information. A lot of National Weather Service offices watch this stream during operations and outbreaks and stuff. Not all of them do, and I don't know which ones do and which ones don't. So we've got to assume that they're not, and make sure that we get that information to them separately. And I just looked over at the chat and just happened to see that huge, big baller move from Eric Rains. Thank you so much, Eric. And congratulations to the 50 people now that have free memberships. Thank you. Good news is maybe some of those more recent scans are suggesting that the tornado that went north of Rogersville is gone now. So we might not ever see a tornado warning for that storm. Which is good. We don't want any more tornadoes. But yeah, I'm just glad that didn't go on much longer there. No, you go ahead, Kenzie. I've lost it already. Also retweeting a video right now from Brandon Clement of some tornado damage near Columbia, Tennessee. We got well-built homes destroyed and trees shredded. The Y'all Squad's going to be busy in the weeks and potentially months after this. This is crazy. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, I think your storm, great call out with that convergence signature, is about to produce a tornado or is currently producing a tornado. No correlation coefficient on that yet, but I just about bet that the next scan will show us something. there, and that's going to head towards Mount Carmel, Center Post, and Lafayette, or however you pronounce that, in Georgia here in Dade and Walker counties, as warned by the National Weather Service. I think we're going to see this start doing damage, unfortunately.
Thank you, Andy. This is heading over towards Head River. What is that? Gulf Mountain. Also, Highway 157, Cedar Grove. All of you guys right here past the border of Alabama in Georgia towards Lafayette need to be taking shelter now, as we saw this go from nothing to that convergence, and now we have a full-blown tornado, I believe, near Head River. Take shelter also in Baylock Mill and anywhere around Gulf Mountain in Georgia. I'm just looking. Looks like I need to. I'm really making sure I'm peering over all of the stuff that's coming in through the Twitter feed here, because that was an unbelievable random catch from me. I get hundreds of notifications per minute almost during streams like this, and it's a wonder I saw that almost as soon as it was sent. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, go ahead and flick to the correlation coefficient to see that tornado doing damage right on the state line here. So that's going to be on County Road, or County Highway 157 here, and right in the Dade and Walker County area here. So Mount Carmel, please be taking shelter. Let people know out there in Center Post in Mount Carmel, Georgia. Go ahead and give them a call that this tornado is on the ground now, verifiable by radar.
Thank you, Andy. We're going to pull all of our different radar resources over here to monitor this. And once again, we've got a tornado doing damage over here, moving across the border between Alabama and Georgia. And we need you to take shelter in Head River. And, of course, over there towards Lafayette as well. Yeah, right here. The tornado is going to be moving, once again, over Highway 157 here soon.
New information.
There's your confirmed
This
tornado warning now from the
upgraded.
National Weather Service for Walker and Dade counties. The tornado is just going to be moving towards Highway 157 near Gulf Mountain. Then it's going to go over to West Cove Road and eventually towards Bronco. So we need everybody to get into their safe spots. I don't know how long this one will last, but if if nothing kind of smashes into it from the south here, it could go for a little while. So let's get to shelter also over here in Lafayette, which is a pretty populated area of northwestern Georgia. The storm that's coming into Huntsville, Alabama right now is looking a little bit less impressive as far as the velocities go. However, it's still a supercell with a hook, and that hook's going to go right over Huntsville, so I don't want to tell anybody to disregard that. We need to stay in our safe spots in Huntsville, at least for the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll see what happens after that. Chattanooga, you guys are about to get in on some rain, finally. Unfortunately, the storm to your west is still pretty discreet. So, this still has a chance of producing a tornado as it comes towards you, but I'm hoping that we're just going to have to deal with some general severe weather here. So we've got Brad Arnold's seeing power flashes now in the Huntsville area near Chapman Mountain. So we've got a tornado down here, once again moving in the general direction of Fagan Springs Estates, Oak Park, Hawks Ridge, and eventually maybe up there towards Ryland. Take shelter immediately. This is a very dangerous situation. Power flashes means that we've got transformers blowing up, power lines getting snapped and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely damage happening on the ground from that big circulation that we saw. Also get ready in Huntland and Hickory Grove here for maybe a tornado trying to come back together here.
Ryan, we're going to get to the top of Chapman Mountain up on Highway 72. We're going to point back to the city of Huntsville. So if there's a tornado on the ground, we will see it.
All right. We're about to see a tornado potentially through Brad Arnold's feed.
A new tornado warning
They
has been
just issued a confirmed tornado warning for Jackson and Madison counties in Alabama. That's going to go all the way out there to Ryland Acres, Moontown, McMullen Cove, Gurley, Garth, and Woodville, Alabama. Take shelter now. This is for the storm that's producing a tornado now near Huntsville, Alabama. Take shelter immediately. All right, so we're waiting on that view from Brad. We're continuing to watch the storm move through Huntsville now, likely producing a tornado. And I'm going to go check on a couple of other storms too. All of our storms in Tennessee right now, for the most part, between Knoxville and Chattanooga, are severe storms with tornado possible tags. Most of these are producing 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. Cleveland, Athens, Knoxville, no tornado threat immediately like we have down here in Alabama, but still big-time severe weather, and you guys want to be sheltered. Chattanooga, you guys are getting ready to get in on your severe storm. Ping-pong ball-sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. Get indoors. The time is now. You've had your fun looking at the lightning. Now the big severe weather is actually about to start here in Chattanooga. So that's why we're not talking about all these towns in Tennessee right now. It's because the tornado threat's actually a lot higher with these storms in North Alabama and extreme southern Tennessee. We've got a tornado likely forming here again near Huntland, Hickory Grove, moving towards Keith Springs in Tennessee. We've got a tornado that's probably formed right over Huntsville and is now, moving maybe to the east of Huntsville near Mountain Brook, over towards Brownsboro and Moontown. And then I think those are the only two tornado warnings that we're going to have, at least for the next little bit. We might see a new one, maybe, for our storm down here coming into Lafayette, but that might not need it. As that rotation's having a hard time sustaining itself.
Ryan, tornado going through downtown Huntsville right now. We have power flashes with a condensed funnel all the way to the ground.
Okay, Brad Arnold is giving us a live view now, unfortunately, of a tornado going through Huntsville. Pay attention to the lightning here. You'll likely get a view of it. But this is also very evident on radar now. We have a tornado going into Huntsville and areas just to the east of Huntsville, specifically moving towards Mountain Brook and Oak Park, Doug Hill, Chestnut Knob, Moontown, and Ryland. You've got to take shelter immediately if you haven't gotten there yet, because this is an extremely dangerous situation. And Brad says he's seen a fully condensed funnel tornado all the way to the ground, causing damage here in Huntsville. And we still got people driving on the highway out there, unfortunately. All right, Brad's on the move. Brad's currently on Highway 72. moving southwest. This thing is, he's obviously in a lot of rain here, so it might be hard to see. But I believe that we do have a tornado here now moving into Mountain Brook. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, that is definitely looking confirmable on radar now. I would say this is an easy radar confirmation. Now it looks like it's almost traveled a little bit. It almost looks like it's going southeast. If you play back a few of the frames here, it looks like we have maybe some immediate deviant motion to the south and east rather than like a due east motion within this hook or with the motion of the storm. So perhaps it's worth looking at areas more south and east along Highway 431 as well.
Okay, thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Guys, if you're just now tuning in, what you're looking at here is a live view of Brad Arnold driving into Huntsville, Alabama. He just showed us a tornado going through Huntsville. Now it's going towards Mountain Brook, maybe down towards Ryland Acres. I think that this tornado is currently right near the community of Mountain Brook, moving towards Burnett Nature Trails. All right. Also, the Big Cat Creek track. If you are from around here, if you're from Huntsville, you might know about the Big Cove Creek, which parallels Highway 431 here, and then kind of takes you down towards the Legacy Preserve and Doug Hill Road near Stencil Electric. That's the path I think that the tornado is going to try to take here as it goes down sort of to the south and east. However, if you are directly to the east of this storm as well, and Doug Hill and Moontown, you need to be aware that this could go towards you. Additionally, some other landmarks here that this tornado is going to be coming very close to is the Hampton Falls Apartments. We've got to be ready in IG Webbs. And the Big Cat Creek Tract. Once again, that's one of the bigger ones that keeps showing up here no matter how far I zoom out. If you are anywhere over here towards the Stencil Electric area, you got to take shelter as well. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I was hoping that was a big electric plant or something. Well, I wasn't hoping. But that's actually just a huge community there. Stencil Electric, Doug Hill, all of these places is just where people live. You got the tornado coming towards you, unfortunately. Brad's behind this thing now. He might have a view of it. Let's make sure we've got him pulled up full.
We
now have a PDS
this
tornado
warning has been upgraded.
PDS tornado warning for areas just east of Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, Moontown, Ryland Acres, Mountain Brook, Doug Hill, Chestnut Knob. We have a large damaging tornado on the ground
large
now.
Damaging tornado on the southeast side of Huntsville. That's Highway 431. That is a very populated area.
Yeah, this is a big one, guys, and I'm going to make sure we have Brad Arnold pulled up full because I think we should have a visual of it here soon if we get another lightning strike. But I'm going to continue to name off communities down here. Once again, this is near Mountain Brook, moving towards Ryland Acres. It's near the Stencil Electric neighborhood. Okay, if you know where Legacy Preserve is, Hale Hollow, any of these places, this is around where we think the tornado is or where it's about to be. Downstream, if it keeps going in the direction that it's going, it'll go right past Doug Hill into what is known as McMullen Cove. McMullen Cove. All right, we have a debris signature now on radar that's pretty big, and that's just an additional confirmation on top of our. Yeah, this could go on for a little while. Hopefully it doesn't, but this could make it all the way down there towards Gurley, Paint Rock, and Garth. We need you to go ahead and get in your safe spots in Gurley, Paint Rock, and Garth, and McMullen Cove. All right, because you've got a little bit of time. It's not moving fast, okay? So you've got a little bit of time to potentially really prepare here for a worst case scenario. You want to get your closed-toed shoes on. You want to bring a helmet into your safe space. You want to bring a charged tablet or cellular device so you can bring me with you and have a way of contacting people in the event that you need help. You want to wear those closed-toed shoes, bring a poncho or a jacket or something because you might have to evacuate your home in the weather over splintered wood, nails, glass if there's damage. You don't want to do that in your flip-flops. Additionally, if you don't have a helmet to protect your head, bring some blankets, some pillows, maybe the mattress off the bed into your safe spot. Your safe spot should be the basement or a storm cellar. If you don't have that, then you need to get into the lowest, most interior room of your home or of a well-built structure, and that's going to be whichever room has no outside-facing walls and the least amount of glass. And you want to get in there and you want to hunker down. And unfortunately, we may need to brace for impact here in the areas between Ryland Acres and Moontown, as a damaging tornado it continues to move down to the south and east. Waiting to hear from Brad. I don't think we have a continued visual on this. And I also don't think that we have any other people in that area, storm chasers. No, we don't. So it's Brad Arnold, the radar. That's what we've got, and that's enough because, I mean, it's just very obvious what's going on here. Big tornado. All we can do right now is hope that these people in Doug Hill are in their safe spots. This is a perfect example of a textbook supercell once again here. I don't know how many of these we've seen today, but this one's probably one of the more impressive ones. I believe this is unconfirmed, but it looks right. I believe this might be a traffic camera view of this thing. As the tornado goes through, or as it went through the east side of Huntsville, Alabama moments ago. And it is now going, once again, between Ryland Acres over Chestnut Knob towards Moontown, McMullen Cove, and Doug Hill. Doug Hill's got to get to shelter if they haven't gotten there. There's a big road just full of houses. Storm Chaser Brad Arnold is the video feed that you see above my head. If you guys are following along in the Radar Omega app, you can also click on his face right here. You can see exactly where he is and view his feed in there if it's not big enough on my feed. But he is close enough now to where if we still have a tornado down, we should be able to see something. But of course, he's in a wooded area. He's kind of in a populated area, so the roads are winding. And at 431, Ryland, Moontown, McMullen Grove, and Gurley needs to take shelter immediately. Here comes a new scan. And it continues to look pretty concerning here. As we still have our big debris signature visible as it's now going over Doug Hill. We definitely are probably going to start hearing about significant damage around Mountain Brook, Eccles Hill, Fagan Spring Estates, the electric, what was that? Stencil Electric. If anybody knows anybody in the Stencil Electric neighborhood there near Doug Hill, you should probably reach out to them. Just waiting to hear on further word from our storm chaser, Brad Arnold, there, if he's seeing anything else. Obviously, he's focused on getting caught up with the thing. Just to get everybody up to speed, if you're just now tuning in, we have a destructive tornado on the east side of Huntsville, Alabama. We have a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning for Jackson and Madison counties. This is, we know a large damaging tornado has at least been on the ground in the past 5 minutes. We're about to find out if it's still down through Storm Chaser Brad Arnold's own eyes here as he is getting even closer to the tornado. We've got members of our team hopefully listening in to several different emergency management feeds in and around Huntsville. There may be a situation where, search and rescue is going on right now. I don't know exactly what's happening. All I know is that a big tornado went through a pretty populated area just now. A large and extremely dangerous tornado is on the ground east of Huntsville. And it's still over heavily populated areas. Some of the more recent scans are showing maybe a little bit of a breaking up of the really concentrated.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Velocity couplets that we were seeing. So hopefully we get confirmation from Brad here soon that this is lifted, or it's kind of maybe we're going to see a recycle. I don't know, but we need to just assume as of right now that it's still down and stay in our safe spots in Moontown, McMullen Cove, and Gurley, because this still looks like a mean hook to me that is definitely capable of producing a big tornado. Around 400,000 people live in Huntsville. So definitely there's a lot of there's some community, there's some part of town here that did receive a lot of damage. Okay, we just don't know exactly the extent of that yet, or what's going on there. We will let you know as soon as we do. Here's another view of that Huntsville storm, I think from that same traffic camera. I don't know exactly what we're looking at here, but this could have been that tornado. And I mean, if it's that big, that's just adds insult to injury here with maybe what we're going to hear about as far as the damage reports go. All we know right now is that there's lots of trees and power lines down, and dispatch is working through calls If there's some sort of a community that's been hit by a tornado that big, we're probably going to be a few minutes before we start hearing anything substantial, because that's going to take a while. That's a mess in that much of a populated area. And by the way, we still have a particularly dangerous situation tornado warning in effect. We still want everybody in Gurley, McMullen Cove, Garth, and Paint Rock to be in their safe spots. However, I do think there's a good chance that the tornado that inspired this warning is gone now. But the supercell is still a massive supercell that's capable of producing a new tornado. So let's stay there and let's wait at least the 30 minutes here until they decide to allow that to expire. So Huntsville, Alabama, you are okay, and there's no need to be in your safe spot if you're in Huntsville, Alabama right now. Same thing for you guys over in Mountain Brook and Oak Park and Chase. If anybody's listening to me over there and you're fine, you didn't get hit by a tornado, it's okay. You got the all clear. There are more storms coming tonight into the Huntsville area. Okay, so I don't want to say that you've got the all clear for the rest of the night, but at least for that storm, this is over for Huntsville. We're getting some unconfirmed reports now that maybe the Huntsville hospital got hit. By the way, there are still some people asking about Caleb Beecham. He's fine. We're talking to him. We're checking in with him every once in a while. He is not trapped. He is in he's in a dangerous situation. All storm chasers are, right? He's in a flash flood emergency right now, but he's okay, and we're in constant contact with him. We're going to be talking to him much more in just a moment. Riley, if you can send me the source, or I just don't want to say confirmed without citing a source. Still need you in your safe spots in Gurley. The rotating part of the storm that produced the damaging tornado near Huntsville is getting ready to come over you right now. We're going to hope that the storm is currently not producing a tornado, but it very well could soon. So Gurley, stay in your safe spots near Gurley Mountain. Also, you guys in Paint Rock and Garth need to be sheltered as well. Riley, if he's not too busy, have him come over Zillow when he gets a chance and maybe tell us what's going on. Just if he wants to, if he can. Whoa. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you guys heard that, but we just got a huge crash of thunder that's literally shook the entire weather house here. Wow. That was a little spooky, ain't gonna lie.
Hey Ron, do you have a second?
Yeah, go ahead, James. Guys, James knows a little bit about what's going on in Huntsville.
A new tornado warning has been
Hey,
issued.
so I have friends who live in Huntsville, Alabama. They have confirmed that the tornado went over Huntsville Hospital, the main hospital in Huntsville. I'm uncertain on if there is confirmed damage to the hospital or not. I'm working on getting that information now. I'm about 45 minutes out from Huntsville, and we'll give you more information as I get there.
Okay, thank you, James. So we're going to hear more about Huntsville from him. Brad Arnold's getting close to this thing. If it's producing another tornado, Brad Arnold's going to be on it here shortly. So we're going to keep him up. Okay, so you guys definitely did hear that thunder. Okay, cool.
I have another update for you whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, James.
So I've just received confirmation that it went over the hospital, but it did not hit the hospital. No damage has been done to the hospital.
Okay, thank you, James. So far, I haven't heard any sort of confirmation about a really significant, any sort of significant damage yet. But I'm sure that that's coming. I mean, we saw the debris ball on radar there, so we're just gonna wait for that information to come in, and hopefully continue to stay in our safe spots here in once again Paint Rock and Garth. I think our power just flickered. Uh-oh.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
We got a new tornado warning in Alabama and Tennessee. Let's go look at that.
Ryan, we just drove through the circulation of it. It's not on the ground. It's definitely a funnel. Quite a ways in the air, though. Do have very, very strong RFD winds with it. It does look like it may be trying to recycle.
Okay, thank you, Brad. Okay, James, I think was trying to say something, but it wasn't coming through. Oh, he sent me a video. Or an image. I don't know. Hold on.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
I don't know how to open that. Okay, I've got to cover some of these warnings here. James is trying to send me a picture or something. I'm going to show that to you here in a moment. If you don't know who James is, that's who's trying to keep us updated on what's going on down there in Huntsville. We got a new tornado warning over here in Sherwood, Tennessee.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Unfortunately, we just got a new tornado warning for Huntsville, Alabama, again. We got another storm coming down towards Huntsville, Alabama right now. And unfortunately, Huntsville, you are under a tornado warning again. Tornado warning for Capshaw, Oakland, Madison, and Huntsville, Alabama. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I just about bet that this cell in Georgia to the southeast of Lafayette and Mount Carmel here. Again, I'm not sure about the pronunciation of Lafayette or Lafayette in Georgia here, but I think that we'll probably see a debris signature on the next scan with that tight velocity coupling.
A new
that's been
tornado
consistent
warning
for a
has
couple
been
frames.
issued.
So if that shows up, then that's the reason why, and we'll have a confirmed warning for that one.
All right. Thank you, Andy. Let's go back over here to Georgia. Wow. Yeah, this looks like another significant tornado maybe coming up there towards Villanelle, Rio, and Mill Creek. Radar indicated tornado warning, but we need you to take shelter now in Villanelle, all the way over towards Phelps as well. Phelps in Georgia. This is in North Georgia here. Chattanooga, you had your first round of heavy rain and some hail go through. You got another round coming in. I think that Chattanooga actually should start becoming a little concerned about a flash flood of threat as well. Speaking of a flash flood threat, I got to go check on our situation up here in northern Tennessee, north of Nashville, between Springfield and Westmoreland. We still have a flash flood emergency ongoing, and we have new downpours kind of just sitting over the area. This is what I was concerned about earlier today. Once again, y'all, flash flooding a lot of times kills more people than tornadoes in situations like this. So I just want to make sure we're letting everybody know the rain is coming back and it's not stopping anytime soon. If you had water rising near you earlier, maybe it started to go down. Don't let your guard down. It's going to rise again. It's going to rise even quicker this time because the ground is super saturated. You might have to make an emergency evacuation to get to higher ground if you live in a flood-prone area. And even if
Brian,
you
we
don't
reported
live
north into it now.
in a
It does,
flood-prone
it does
area,
appear to be intensifying again.
even if you don't live in a flood-prone area, this might be the first time it ever floods in your area. Back here in Kentucky, we got a new tornado warning for Bardwell. This is starting back here in Missouri near East Prairie. Good looking supercell here. We'll see what happens with it as it comes into Kentucky. And now Carbondale, Illinois. You guys are also under a tornado warning. Grand Tower, Panoma, Murfreesboro, Carbondale. Take shelter now. Let's go back to Brad Arnold's storm, the one that just came out of Huntsville. He says it looks like it's trying to do something again as he's near Paint Rock. Gurley and Garth, you guys are still under a tornado warning. Take shelter immediately. Huntsville also needs to take shelter again because a new tornado warning was just issued for you. Also, Athens, Oakdale, Fairmount, East Limestone, Capshaw, Chickshaw Estates, Indian Hills, and Brandontown. You guys all need to be taking shelter over here near Huntsville. Excuse me.
Hey, Ryan, if you have a second.
Yeah, go ahead. That's Caleb.
Hey, so right now I'm in Springfield, Tennessee, and we are seeing the water rapidly rise here on the Red River. You can see
Oh
here
my
actually on my
gosh.
stream on the left side, those lights are coming from a structure that have now been overtaken by the river. That fence just at the bottom of the screen there is probably 40 or 50 feet from where the riverbank actually would be, so it is continually rising, and we've probably seen it come up about a foot in the last 45 minutes since I've been in town.
All right, Caleb, be careful out there. From what I'm seeing on radar, like that water is going to continue to rise very, very quickly. Make sure you have lots of situational awareness. We just got an update from James again. Go ahead, James.
So I'm getting reports of damage on Governor's Drive in Huntsville, near Doug Hill and 72, as well as damage in 5 Points, which is, I believe, a neighborhood town of some sort in Huntsville.
All right. Thank you, James. Definitely got reports now of also roofs torn off of homes in Huntsville. So some information is starting to come in about that storm. Unfortunately, if there is some sort of recovery effort ongoing right now in Huntsville, it's being interrupted now because everybody's having to get back into their safe spots as there is a new tornado warning for Huntsville. We want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, just an update on the flooding situation in Tennessee. So I've been taking a look at some stream gauges because I'm a water resources nerd. That's my major in college. And the normal cubic discharge of the rivers in this region, specifically the Red River is the one that I'm looking at, is around 500 cubic feet of water per minute or per second. And right now that river, and I do estimate, or I do think that this stream gauge is probably maxed out to the point where it can no longer properly calculate the amount of cubic discharge. So I would guess it's even higher than that, but we're at over 16,000 cubic feet of water per second in an area that's normally discharging 500 cubic feet of water per second. So we're more than 32 times what we should be.
Wow. Thank you for that, Riley. I think maybe we're probably going to talk to Caleb a lot more throughout the rest of this coverage. So maybe let's put him in one of the first three spots there, if you don't care. And Riley, keep us updated on that kind of stuff as well, because I really do think, y'all, that as the tornado threat dies down, and it's not really going to completely die down here anytime soon, but as it does, the flash flooding situation is going to be incredibly
A new tornado warning
unfortunate
has been
up here in
issued.
portions of Kentucky and Tennessee, and I want to make sure we're keeping y'all updated on that as well. I know how important that is. Once again, we went through that here in eastern Kentucky, a 1 in 1,000 year, 2,000 year, whatever it is, kind of flood, and it literally did damage that Reed Timmer himself said was worse than almost any EF4 or 5 tornado that he's ever seen. Here in eastern Kentucky, and that's how powerful water can be in these situations whenever we get the catastrophic flash flooding. So we got a new tornado warning here for Pleasant Groves, Scottsboro, and Hollywood. And that's going to be a continuation of the,
Hey Ryan, we're done with this one. This one's headed kind of up into the mountains. We're going back to that one that is headed back to the city of Huntsville. Tornado warning for the city of Huntsville. That includes, if it continues to pass, it's going to get really close to my house. So that's where we're going.
All right, thank you, Brad. He's not going to follow this storm, but the storm is going to keep going towards Scottsboro. Okay, Scottsboro in Alabama. Now, a good thing about the, I think the area where Caleb is right now, I don't think there's a lot of hills here. I could be wrong. But one of the reasons why up here in eastern Kentucky our flash flooding situation was so bad is because everything was channeled into the valleys, and we literally had water moving at, well over 100 miles per hour, and that works just like wind whenever it hits a surface, and it was slabbing homes and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully we don't see anything like that up here in northern, Tennessee tonight. But certainly life-threatening flash flooding is inbound here, all across areas between Livingston, Gallatin, Hendersonville, up towards Clarksville even maybe, and Hopkinsville, Kentucky. So Brad Arnold's turning around, but I do want everybody. I do want everybody to know that this is still a very dangerous storm coming towards Scottsboro. Please take shelter. Also, the storm that's coming back down towards Huntsville, Alabama now is also still looking like it's capable of producing a tornado here. So, unfortunately, we're going to need you to stay in your safe spots in Huntsville for the next 41 minutes, or at least until they allow that warning to expire. We also have that tornado warning over here in Georgia that I need to update y'all on. The rotation that's coming up towards Phelps and Tilton in Georgia is a lot less concerning than it looked earlier. However, it's still there, and we need to take shelter. Same thing for you guys in Chatsworth, Georgia, and Eaton, Georgia. Nothing that says tornado on the ground right now, but it could happen soon. Our line of storms is getting ready to exit Tennessee for the most part and move into the mountains of North Carolina, Asheville. Get ready for some more storms in a couple of hours, or maybe just a little over an hour, as these storms race towards you. Johnson City, I think that the damaging wind threat is going to be a big deal here as the storms move more towards the Appalachian Mountains, but the tornado threat is going to go down a lot. However, the tornado threat looks like it's still a thing. Unfortunately, in this area, and now we have more cells forming back here in and around Murfreesboro, back towards Mount Pleasant, even up there towards Cookeville. So we have to watch all of these very closely, as they all could produce tornadoes, but things are, kind of forming so close together now that hopefully this all congeals into a big mess, and unfortunately that is going to lead us into a new problem with damaging winds and flash flooding, but it at least gets rid of one of the big problems, which is the tornado threat tonight. But as of right now, that still continues to be a significant problem, the tornado threat. Let's go check back in on our storm that's tornado warned in Kentucky. I'm not convinced that this storm is currently producing a tornado. However, it is warned and it's capable of doing so in the future. So Arlington and Bardwell in Kentucky, you need to take shelter. Mayfield, Kentucky, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. This storm is rotating. I don't think it's
A new
going to
tornado
produce a
warning
tornado
has been issued.
anytime soon. So let's not worry too much about it, but let's also be ready to take shelter just in case. DeKalb and Jackson counties in Alabama are now under a tornado warning, and rightfully so, as we got another little dangly bit right here, causing problems south and west of Bridgeport. This storm is also moving in the general direction of Chattanooga. You guys are going to have to deal with this in some way, whether it's just from the rain and the wind, or maybe even the tornadic circulation. So don't let your guard down in Chattanooga just yet. But in Bridgeport and Bryant, Alabama, take shelter now. This is crazy, man. We've been live for 9 hours now, and it's been a non-stop, just wild event from beginning to end. It definitely doesn't feel like 9 hours has went by. I do want to check in on our storms over here in Arkansas. Oops. These storms are entering a decently favorable environment for tornadoes as well. That's why we've got that tornado watch. So we gotta look out for those storms, but it doesn't look like they're growing very much. It doesn't look like they're getting much stronger. So if that changes, the Little Rock area might have to deal with some tornadoes here as these storms get stronger and they move towards you. That storm near Hot Springs is blowing up decently. We'll have to watch it. Right now, it's just a little shower. No tornado warnings in Texas or Oklahoma right now, but these storms are pretty strong moving into Winnsboro. 70-mile-an-hour winds. Same thing up there, moving into Ogden and Fulton in southwestern Arkansas. Down here in southern Illinois, West Kentucky, still dealing with a couple of tornado warnings. I think the main threat here in Carbondale, as this storm approaches, is going to be the damaging winds. There is a chance that we get a spin-up tornado here, but I would just mostly brace for really strong winds as this big storm comes towards you. All of this moisture that you see here that extends all the way back into central Arkansas has to move over our flash flood emergency before it exits the area, the weather system. I just want to keep emphasizing that fact. Like it's not looking good down there. We got an update from Hall Force 1 and Caleb Beecham.
What is going on, guys? Storm Chaser Caleb.
Hold on. Wait. Let's watch. He's in that flash flood emergency right now.
What is going on, guys? Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham here. We are currently in Springfield, Tennessee, where the National Weather Service has issued a flash flood emergency. We are right next to the Red River, where we've seen it rise several inches within the last couple of hours. And it's going to continue to rise as thunderstorms are training into the area as we speak. Within the last 45 minutes or so, we've probably seen it rise 2 to 4 inches, and it's going to continue to do so. We're currently in a floodplain. We're probably going to head back up into the higher elevations of the town very shortly here as the river continues to rise with this significant rainfall. So stay tuned, guys. We are live over on YouTube.
All right. Caleb Beecham does have a YouTube channel as well, by the way, y'all. Caleb Beecham. That's the name. So if you want to follow him over there, you can do that and keep up with his flood adventures here, as this is going to be an ongoing thing for quite some time tonight. Scottsboro, Alabama, y'all definitely need to be getting in your safe spot. If for whatever reason you thought you could come out, that storm that produced the tornado near Huntsville is continuing to look like it's trying to produce another tornado as it comes into Limrock, Larkinsville, and Scottsboro, Alabama. Take shelter now. Huntsville, Alabama. This one on velocity doesn't look that bad, but this is almost exactly what the storm looked like before, that was producing a tornado near Huntsville, and it also didn't look very impressive on velocity at first. So this might actually be a new tornado trying to form here near Capshaw, moving towards Chickasha Estates and Indian Hills and Oakwood. You're already under that tornado warning, so there's no reason to not just go ahead and get into your safe spot, okay? Take shelter immediately down there in Oakwood, Brandontown, and Huntsville, okay?
A new tornado watch has been issued.
Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, looking in the boot heel of Missouri here near Tallapoosa, headed up towards Marston and New Madrid in Missouri. Looking at this hook coming together here in a shower back behind it that could nudge it forward at an accelerated rate. No tornado warning on this yet, but some conditions are in place here, and pattern recognition may be favorable for this to be tornado warned as it heads up toward I-55 down here in New Madrid County in Missouri.
All right.
A new tornado
Thank
warning
you,
has been issued.
Andy, just in time. There it is. The tornado warning is now out. That Andy just outlined to us. Lone Star, Corning, Marston, Howardville, Tallapoosa, Hartselle. Take shelter now. This is a pretty dangerous storm. And this is, we've seen this, I don't know how many times tonight, and it's resulted in a tornado. So get ready down there towards New Madrid as well. If this survives, if this produces a tornado for any significant period of time, this will come towards you in New Madrid. So, yeah, take shelter. So we've really got to watch these storms right in here, as we're seeing a sort of similar situation as to, what we saw in Tennessee earlier, where we got all these little cells popping up, and they're kind of close together, but they're also pretty far apart, and they're all rotating, and they're all trying to produce tornadoes. If these, for whatever reason, can grow and get as strong as some of those storms down there in Tennessee did, we might see a couple of, big tornadoes out here. So we're watching this area closely. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, watching Limrock, Alabama. That's the eastern one that just went through Huntsville a little while ago. That velocity is coming together very quickly right before it gets to the town along State Highway 35 here in western Jackson County, Alabama. So y'all watch out, or you are in a tornado warning here in Limrock and Scottsboro, but I believe another one is trying to form here as this velocity is right in the hook echo. So higher confidence that something is happening here in the immediate term.
Absolutely. Andy, thanks for bringing us back to this storm. We're getting a new scan right now on our Radar Omega app. And you can see here right near Limrock, we've still got that velocity signature. It looks more impressive now. It's moving over towards Larkinsville, Scottsboro, Hollywood. You guys all need to be in your safe spots. This is
a new
the storm
tornado
that has a
warning has been
history
issued
of producing a big tornado. It looks like it's trying to do it again. I want to go back and look at our Huntsville one again as well, because this signature that you see here, it looks pretty concerning. Velocity doesn't look as bad, but I don't want to sit here and disregard it, because, there's certainly a storm capable of producing a tornado moving into Huntsville again. So please take shelter now if you're in Huntsville. Back to Georgia. New tornado warning. Pretty decent area of rotation, moving past Tilton, over towards Holly, Ball Ground, Ramhurst, and Dennis, all the way over to Ellijay. You guys need to take shelter if you haven't already out here. You are under a tornado warning out here in Chatsworth, Georgia. Here's a video. This is from Prospect, Tennessee, once again earlier today. Unwarned until it already passed through. This is the one that Andy was talking about this one as the tornado was going on, but unfortunately there was no tornado warning. Thank you for sending that in, Ryland.
Hey, Ryan, if you have a second.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Hey, Ryan, so I've repositioned myself pretty much exactly back where I was when I showed you guys last time, but we're looking at that exact same area and that exact same fence that I had pointed out. And that corner of the fence that I was showing where we were able to see about 1.5 feet, 2 feet of the top of the fence now. That corner section has completely submerged underwater, so there's about another 1.5 feet, 2 feet before this will end up covering this road and some residential areas and commercial buildings down here in Springfield.
All right. Thank you, Caleb. And I want to quickly remind everybody that the flooding situation that it could be developing up here is quite serious. We might literally see homes and cars and stuff floating down this river at some point here tonight. Go ahead, Andy.
I agree, Ryan. And unfortunately, the Limrock, Alabama.
Hey, Ryan, it's Brad.
I think just south of the town, but of course, every time we analyze the radar, as we go up with height, there is a little bit of a bias in the location, so it can go. It could be anywhere around the town here. So I do want to say that this did produce a tornado, and that we'll probably see an upgraded warning as a result to a confirmed tornado warning for Scottsboro, and hopefully everyone in Limrock was in shelter.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill, for bringing us back down here. And once again, right on cue.
New information. This tornado warning
now
has
Jackson,
been upgraded.
County, Alabama is under a confirmed tornado warning. All right, so Scottsboro, Larkinsville, and Bellefonte, you guys, if you weren't already in shelter from the initial tornado warning, us talking about it over and over again, Andy pointing out the fact that it's down. Now the National Weather Service is on board too. I mean, let's get there. Let's take shelter, and hopefully this goes away. But if it doesn't, it's going to come into Scottsboro on the west side of town near Poorhouse Mountain and Tater Knob. Okay, so get ready over there. Take shelter now. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. I do want to go back to our Huntsville storm just to update our folks over here. We got a lot of concerned people in Huntsville, obviously. Brad Arnold's going to come through on the radio soon, and he's either going to say, Ryan, I don't see anything with this. I don't smell any tornadoes. Or he's going to say that, hey, Ryan, there's a tornado on the ground right now. I don't know which one it's going to be.
A new tornado warning
because earlier
has been
today
issued.
we had a similar signature with not a lot going on velocity, and that was a lot more impressive in real life than what it looked like on radar. So we're going to assume that maybe there's a tornado down here, and we're going to stay in our safe spots in Chickasha Estates, Oakwood, Brandontown, and Huntsville, Alabama for at least the next 24 minutes. And then we'll reassess the situation, okay? New tornado warning in Kentucky. Mayfield, Kentucky is included in this one. Well. All right. We do have a supercell that is trying to rotate here, coming into the greater Mayfield area. I would definitely take shelter over here. Obviously, we want to take this seriously, but I wouldn't. If you got some tornado anxiety out here in the Mayfield area, I wouldn't worry too much. This does not look like a really bad situation. I will let you know as soon as that changes. But certainly take shelter just in case. It's better to be safe than sorry. Actually looks a little bit worse farther to your west with that storm that Andy brought us to earlier near Tallapoosa. Got a pretty strong supercell coming together now with a more traditional looking hook and a very well defined velocity couplet moving up towards Lone Star, Marston, and Howardville now. This is all happening in the Boot Heel of Missouri, moving up into Kentucky slowly but surely. More cells are forming down to the south and west of that, and these will have to be watched closely tonight. Zooming in back on our flash flood emergency where Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham is. Rain continues to fall from Greenbrier over to Westmoreland. Let's do storm total precipitation. Yeah. 8 inches of rain estimated, close to 9 inches of rain, close to Walnut Grove. Y'all, there might be some places out here tonight that see 12, 13, maybe 14 inches of rain before things are said and done, which is, might be some sort of record for this specific area. Once again, there's a lot more rain to come. We're going to see that warm frontal boundary hopefully lift north a little bit more and give us a little bit of a break. That'll save us a lot. But if not, all this convection is going to continue to happen over the Springfield and Portland area, and that'll lead to even more catastrophic flooding out here. Checking in on the tornado warning over here in Georgia. We got a decent area of rotation, a concerning looking area of rotation moving towards Tails Creek, Elders, and Ellijay. Y'all should be in your safe spot if you haven't gotten there already. Also back towards Chatsworth, Ramhurst, Ball Ground, Tilton, and Keith's Mill. You guys should be sheltered as well. Let me go back to that real quick with the storm total precip, just to kind of other places that might get added on to the flash flood emergency if the rain continues to fall include Clarksville, Tennessee, and areas just east of Clarksville, Tennessee, where we've already seen, 5 or 6 inches of rain. And then also back here towards Lafayette, Kentucky, 6 or 7 inches of rain. Go ahead, Andy.
All right, from the Shreveport, Louisiana radar, I'm looking at Newsom and Winnsboro and Pittsburgh, Texas here. Bit of a jutting out motion with this part of the sort of semi-discrete complex of storms here, and some rotation that's rather broad as a result. And thus, if this gets a tornado warning, since it's in a bit of a radar hole, that would be the reason why for southern Camp County, Texas, northern Upshur County, Texas, around Betty to Pittsburgh on Highway 271. So y'all watch out there, just in case there is a tornado warning issued for that.
Thank you, Andy. We are currently looking at a storm in Texas now, maybe trying to produce a tornado in the near future over here near Pittsburgh, Rocky Mound, Piney Grove, Leesburg, and Hickory Hill. Right now you're under a tornado, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds, so this is going to be a strong storm regardless, but there might be a tornado trying to form as well. Water continues to rise around Hull Force 1. Let's go ahead and talk to Caleb now. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hey, Ryan, you got me?
Yes.
Alrighty, so literally right outside my window, I actually came across some flooded streets here in the Springfield area. And literally right outside my window, pretty much within the last 30 seconds, I can literally see the water rising. So this is obviously a lower part, closer to the river. That's why we see this roadway flooded right now. But I can see the water going up the roadway actually towards the vehicle right now. So inch by inch, I'm seeing it rise more and more. So even though it's not raining right now, we're still continuing to see that water level rise, which could mean that there's some sort of debris further down the river preventing water flowing outward of the Springfield area.
All right. Thank you very much for that update, Caleb, and keep us updated as the water is almost certainly going to continue to rise very quickly there in and around the Springfield, Tennessee area. So we're watching the flash flooding situation, obviously, and we've still got a significant severe and tornado situation ongoing in portions of Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. So I'm going to go through all these again for you. Huntsville. You know what? I'm just going to ask Brad. Hold on. Maybe the reason Brad hasn't talked to us is because he doesn't have signal, because I cannot reach him right now. So we're going to wait and see if we hear anything from Brad. I mean, this right here is not something you want to see, the little dangly bit there. However, you know, not seeing much on velocity, so maybe we don't have a tornado down. But just in case we do, we're going to stay in our safe spots down here in Oakwood, Grove Park, Brandontown, and Huntsville in Alabama for the next 18 minutes at least. Scottsboro. This is an area where we're a little bit more convinced that we had a tornado down. Poor House Mountain, Tater Knob, and Scottsboro. This tornado is going to come through within the next 5 minutes. This will make it all the way down there towards Hodge and Dutton and Pisgah within the next 17 minutes. Take shelter now. Pretty significant situation here. We got a tornado warning over here in Georgia, Ellijay, Georgia. Y'all got to take shelter. We're in a little bit of a radar hole here. I can't tell you too much about that, but if you're under a tornado warning, take shelter now. If it's not the tornado, then it's the 1.5 inch hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds that you're about to experience. The damage threat is considerable in Ellijay. Take shelter. Another flash flooding situation is setting up over here between Chatsworth and Dalton, Georgia, as we've got huge storms training over the same areas over and over again. Dalton, you're also under a severe thunderstorm warning for golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to continue for the next hour or so. It's not going to let up. Chattanooga is the most lucky town right now out of all these towns in Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia. These storms have just skirted and scooted around you all night long. I don't know what it is, but congratulations. So far, I think Chattanooga has missed out on most of the severe weather. Unfortunately, it's not over yet. We've got a bunch of more storms forming over here in, look at this. We've got just a ton of new storms forming now in Middle Tennessee, south of Nashville. One of these is daggone going to go through Chattanooga, or probably a lot of them are. And this will end up causing more problems with severe weather in terms of mostly hail and rain. And also flash flooding. Knoxville, big storms are past you now. Moving into Asheville, North Carolina. Severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Get ready. Sylva, North Carolina as well. Most of this stuff is moving out of Tennessee, though, except for the fact that, you know, we're getting all this new stuff back here. So that's what's happening with that. We're getting new storms now where we shouldn't, but it's happening.
I just tried to send you a message. I don't know why it didn't go through. I think while Andy was talking, we have a very low-hanging wall cloud right here with a lot of low scud. Do not see any tornado on the ground, but it does look like it is strengthening back to just to our west. So we're going to get up here and turn around and look back down south.
Okay, I got you now, Brad. Thank you. Okay, so Brad's not seeing a tornado.
Ryan, we did just have a power flash. I do not know if that's because there was a tornado on the ground. I wasn't able to observe it. There was a power flash where the tornado, if there is one, would have been.
Okay, so now we're seeing power flashes. So once again, we got a dangly bit hanging off this storm. That's a sign that a tornado could be forming there. So we need everybody in Huntsville to be in their safe spots and taking shelter right now. Huntsville, we're going to keep you updated through Brad Arnold here, who is now able to reach me. Scottsboro, that storm's getting close to you as well. Hopefully you guys are still in your safe spot. We've been talking to you for a while. I'm hoping that you can disregard me soon after this storm goes by you. We've been hooting and hollering about Scottsboro. I feel like this storm's moving slow. But it's getting ready to hit now. Stay in your safe spot. 14 minutes. It'll be time to come out, and hopefully everything's going to be all right, and we'll move on. That's Scottsboro, Alabama. Tornado warning continues for Mayfield, and I continue to not be very impressed by the presentation there on radar. So once again, don't freak out in Mayfield. I think you're fine. Just get in your safe spot and be there for the next 28 minutes. And it'll likely be allowed to expire. Unfortunately, in Mayfield, we've got other storms coming. Okay, so it's not the severe weather threat's not going to be over after the storm goes by. It's going to be a long night of storminess in Mayfield, Kentucky, and Benton, and all these areas. But in the immediate future here, I don't think we have a tornado threat within the next 30 minutes in Mayfield. It's a better safe than sorry situation. You want to get into your safe spot. Rotation with our storm that's coming up towards New Madrid has let up a little bit. That's a good sign. That's a real good sign. Hopefully that continues to be the case for the vast majority of these storms that are popping up over here along the Mississippi River.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
My gosh. We got a new tornado warning for Mayfield. And credit to the National Weather Service. This is definitely the kind of storm that can produce a tornado. We don't want to discount or downplay the significance of the situation. All right. So we do want you in your safe spot in Mayfield, but I know there's just people out there that are sick to their stomach thinking about the idea of a tornado moving into Mayfield. This is not a repeat of what happened last time, but just to be safe, let's get into our safe spot. You can see that we are getting a little bit more of a curvature to the storm there. This is, something that we'll have to watch. Oh, Brian Imfinger has an amazing video of a tornado near Aurora, Missouri earlier. I am retweeting that over on Twitter or X at Ryan Hall, y'all, if you want to see all the media that we're sharing over there. Where's Robertson County? Is that one of the counties in the flash flood emergency?
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Wow. Here's some images from Robertson County in Tennessee of water rescues ongoing now. We've got people trapped on top of their vehicles and rushing water.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
This is part of one of the reasons why we say turn around, don't drown. You can, this guy's probably just trying to get across the road. Water rose while he was going across. And now there's a lot of people that are going to have to put their lives at risk to go save him. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey, Ryan, I want to talk about that graphic that I created in StreamText since it has to do with the flash flooding. Can you go ahead and pull that up so I can kind of describe what's going on there?
Yes, go.
All right, so... Oh, my head's covering it.
Okay, all right. I can't move it, so I'm just go.
All right, so there's the so the part that my head was covering where we have the red lines here, that is kind of an area of higher elevation. So now the concern with this is obviously water drains from high ground to low ground. So the blue lines on there are our current flash flood emergencies where we have seen up to 10 inches of rainfall so far. And the black lines with the arrows are the direction of the only two waterways that are in charge of draining all of this area. So all of the water from this flash flood emergency is going to go into those two rivers, which eventually combine into one river, and that is the Red River near Point Royal. So at this point, we're not only worried about flash flooding here, we're worried about flooding downstream because all of this water is going to go to one waterway from all this area, and it's expected to crest right now at 38 feet above normal. That's considered a moderate flood for the area. That's about a 1 in 25 year flood. but that outlook was issued over 2 hours ago when we weren't expecting as much rain in the second round. So it is quite possible that we could have a major flood here, and we may even reach up to record rainfall numbers and a record river crest for this area.
All right, thank you very much, Riley. Guys, one of the reasons why we're so concerned about the flooding out here is once again because we've currently got already right now we've got swiftwater rescues underway, people trapped in their homes and on top of vehicles and on top of their homes due to the flooding that's going on, and the water is continuing to rise out there in North Tennessee. Additionally, we just got a new tornado warning for Huntsville, Ryland, and
Hey, Ryan, we got a
Maysville.
tornado on the ground north of the city of Huntsville. Just saw it off the west of us. We're about to hop on 565 and head east.
Storm Chaser Brad Arnold says he's got a tornado on the ground north of Huntsville now, moving towards Cherry Creek, Colonial Hills, and Normal. Of course. Once again, we believe we've got a tornado down here near Cherry Creek. This is on the north side of Huntsville. Get to shelter in Colonial Hills, Chapman Heights, Oak Park, Chase, Normal, Meadow Hills, and everywhere in between. And this is a live view of that. This is a live view of the the storm that's happening here. He's approaching it from the south and west, or I'm sorry, he's approaching it from the south. We're looking north. So I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything here, but definitely a big time storm here that's causing another tornado. Take shelter. We'll see if we get an upgrade from the National Weather Service, if they can confirm that as well. Unbelievable.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Ryan, we are about to turn east into the storm. We're headed south right now. We're headed east in about a quarter of a mile.
Okay. I thought he was going to go after it on Highway 255, but he's going to be turning east here. I see. All right, we've got an update from Andy. Go ahead.
Hey, Ryan, I was actually going to mention that North Carolina, now tornado warned east of Murphy. It's heading into the mountains here north of Hayesville, and I saw the couplet right at the same time that, right as the National Weather Service issued that warning. So we were going to break in at the same time there. Of course, we've got the Huntsville tornado on the ground, so multiple things happening at the same time. But that is not an area that gets tornado warnings all that often. So hopefully we can get the people there in shelter. I have no idea what sort of responses would go on for the people who have no internet service in the mountains whatsoever. So hopefully these people know the storm is coming to them somehow, and we can get them in shelter.
All right, Andy, thank you. It looks like we've got a tornado here. Sorry. Near Peachtree and Jones Mill, moving towards Fires Creek. This is going to go over Big Peachtree Bald, Pigeon Knob, or Pigpen Knob. And then it's going to go into Hayesville to Skeet, Shooting Creek, over towards Rainbow Springs. This is a dangerous storm. And like Andy said, these guys, this is probably one of the areas where the least amount of tornado warnings are issued. So who knows if the people out here are getting the warning or how they would get it if they were going to get it. But if you know anybody out here near Hayesville or Murphy or any of these places in North Carolina, please try to let them know that we've got a very significant situation here where a tornado is likely down, coming off the mountain. Or coming through the mountains, honestly, in towards Jones Mill and Fires Creek right now. And yeah, that's a pretty concerning and convincing signature right there. Peachtree, Jones Mill, this just happens to be one of the more populated places right in here too. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, if you take the Paducah, Kentucky radar and you push it up to about 2.4 degree tilt, you can see very clear rotation and tight rotation over Mayfield, Kentucky here. So this supercell is organizing in the mid levels. We're not seeing that response yet at the low levels, but that could happen next scan or in a couple of scans here. So a dynamically evolving situation and a very good warning, as you said, by the Paducah National Weather Service for this for Mayfield. So hopefully that doesn't translate downward to the lower levels, but right now we see evidence in the mid levels that this is actually quite worrisome here for Mayfield.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. And if you look here on the velocity, when we first started looking at this, we saw a little bit of reds, a little bit of increase, greens here. Now those values are increasing, and they're also becoming more vertical. So we're seeing that a very similar convergent signature as to what we saw earlier with the storm in Alabama that eventually went into Georgia to produce a tornado. So
A new tornado
Riley,
warning
let's
has
hear
been
it.
issued.
What do you got?
I just wanted to cut in with a little happy note here. Congratulations on 1.9 million subscribers, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed today.
Wow. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Riley, for telling us about that, and thank you all for subscribing. That's 30,000 of you today, I think, if that's what we hit. So thank you so much. I wish it was under better circumstances, but I really appreciate everybody, and this is what I do. I plan on doing this until you guys don't like me anymore. You don't want me to do it anymore, until nobody shows up. I will be here for every major severe weather outbreak until I can't breathe anymore, because I think we're doing a good thing here. So, new tornado warning for Pisgah, Central, Eider, Hengar, Oak Grove, and Gann Crossroads. You guys are under a tornado warning. You need to take shelter right now if you haven't already. What's going on with Zello here?
Ryan, we are about to turn east into the storm. We're headed
Okay.
south right now. We're headed east in about.
Hey Ryan, so I've repositioned myself pretty much exactly back where I was when I.
Okay, I think Caleb tried to reach out. Caleb, was you trying to reach out to me there?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get the worst possible scenario that we could have experienced. We're not even at an area really close to the river. We're actually about half a mile from the nearest creek bed. But we've now started to see houses that are completely surrounded and submerged. You can see here on my stream that we are from over with rainfall here. So this is definitely a very concerning situation for anyone that's in that flash flood emergency. So if you were not sure if you should take this seriously, this is a sign right here. This is a house that is completely surrounded by at least a foot of water.
All right, and
Ryan, you
then
can actually see the funnel on my stream right now. I've got it in low lux mode to bring in extra light. You can see it right here, cone funnel.
all right, and we've also got a cone funnel on Brad Arnold's stream associated with the storm that's going through Huntsville right now, or just to the north of Huntsville, where we've got a tornado now potentially developing or cycling or dropping near Chase and Ryland along Highway 72. Please take shelter if you haven't already. Also down there towards Moontown, McMullen Cove, and Gurley once again. Unfortunately, you guys are in the path of this. We need you to get into your safe spot. So we've got, once again, a couple of different serious situations right now. We've got our tornadoes that we're watching in western Kentucky, back there towards the Boot Hill of Missouri. We got our tornadoes that we're watching in Alabama. And also, we continue to have a serious situation with flooding up there in North Tennessee that Caleb is keeping us updated on. Water's rising fast. Once again, hopefully everybody is aware of this. I don't think it's safe in some places that are under a flash flood emergency tonight to sleep this one off. Like, this one might be something that you need to stay alert and aware for, and monitor those water levels for the next several hours as more rain moves in. Here's a picture of something near Huntsville about 5 minutes ago. I don't know. I'm not confident enough to call that a tornado, but there's definitely some sort of lowering there, and it very well could be a tornado. So we've got to keep that in mind and use that as another stimulus to get ourselves in gear and go to shelter in Moontown, McMullen Cove, and Maysville down here in Alabama. Let's go back to Mayfield real quick and give you guys an update on that. Mayfield, Kentucky. The storm is just about to pass over town, so if a tornado isn't happening right now at this moment, it's probably not going to happen for Mayfield, so that's good. However, the storm is going to continue to try to produce a tornado or continue to rotate as it goes over towards Golo, Brewers, Backsburg, Kirksey, and South Marshall. So we need you guys to be watching out as this comes towards you. North Carolina tornado warning is continuing. Velocity on that honestly still looks quite concerning. So we need you to get in your safe spots out here in North Carolina in Jones Mill, Fires Creek, Hayesville, and Shooting Creek. I wonder, does anybody know how?
Ryan, we are looking due northwest into this tornado warning storm right now. So if there's anything on the ground, we will see it on the screen.
All right, so we're watching Brad Arnold very closely. Let's pull up the two view here. We got a view of the flood from Caleb and a view of the this tornado situation from Brad Arnold. What was I going to say? Crap, I don't remember. I was getting ready to ask a question. I've lost my train of thought. If you're just now tuning in, we have been going nonstop now for about 9 hours and 30 minutes. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Like this is probably going to be a pretty late one. We will, no matter what, probably stop at the 12-hour mark. But as of right now, we're here for the long haul. We're 9 hours, 30 minutes in, and we're not going anywhere as we continue to track these tornadoes and flash floods that are working through several different areas across the United States. Severe thunderstorms as well. This is why we're kind of focused on the flash floods a little bit. Once again, I want to show this to kind of give some context behind, hey, Ryan, like we get flash flood warnings all the time. Why is this special? A flash flood emergency is different, and we got more rain on the way, so I'm just really, unfortunately, pretty concerned for the people up there that are going to have to deal with that. Brad Arnold's going to let us know if he sees anything else with the storm near Huntsville, but I'm hoping that he doesn't, and that it continues to look less impressive on radar, which it does right now. But if you're in Ryland or Maysville, you got to take shelter. Right now, we have no confirmed tornadoes on the ground, as far as we know. We've got a bunch of radar-indicated warnings. We had a tornado on the ground not too long ago via Brad Arnold and the National Weather Service with that storm near Huntsville, but no new updates on that just yet. If we are in the flash flood warning area, do we need to worry about tornadoes later tonight or just the flooding? Sorry if the dumb question. Not a dumb question. Unfortunately, you'll need to worry about both for a little bit, but I think the biggest threat is the flash flooding threat. The tornado threat should go down a little bit the later we go. But we're about to hear from Andy here. So go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I think we'll get another tornado warning in Gilmer County in Georgia near Ellijay. That storm has consolidated quite a bit on the last few scans, so another area of interest for sure that I think will get warned just due to how the rotation is broad, but it is strong on both sides here. So that will probably include parts of Fannin County in Georgia and Gilmer County. So y'all watch out for that. This has been warned a couple of times in this area already, but I bet another one will be coming with this circulation.
Absolutely. Andy, thank you. We had a warning on this for Ellijay back when it was closer to Chatsworth. That warning's been allowed to expire, but now the rotation's picking back up again near Northcutt, and we might see a new warning for Aska, Newport, and Stock Hill in Georgia here, okay? So get ready for that. Y'all watch out. Checking back in on our tornado warning in North Carolina. Rotations let up a lot, thankfully, but we still might have a tornado here. So just for at least the next 37 minutes, Hayesville and Tuskegee and Shooting Creek, stay in your safe spots. We'll let you know when that warning has been allowed to expire. Asheville, North Carolina. The winds are probably moving in now. You got some strong winds and a pretty strong storm moving into the Asheville area. But as far as I can tell right now, there's not much of a tornado threat at the moment. Knoxville, lightning is increasing to your north and west. This is associated with some general thunderstorms that are going to move into the area and probably cause some more rainfall problems than anything. I don't think that we're going to see any more significant severe weather in Knoxville other than maybe potentially some really heavy rain for the next little bit. And then maybe later tonight into early tomorrow morning, there might be another round of strong winds. Heavy rain is moving back into the catastrophic flooding area in the flash flood emergency near Springfield.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Thankfully, it's not as intense as it was earlier, so hopefully we continue to get that kind of break. However, I'm not convinced that that'll last too long. It's just, the longer this boundary is over that area, the worse it's going to be. New tornado warning over here in West Kentucky. Benton, Hardin, and Fair Dealing. You are now included in this tornado warning. We see a little bit more, rotation here. However, it's still nothing that screams to me that there's an immediate concern for a tornado being down. So that's good news, but you still need to take shelter in Benton, Kentucky, and Hardin and Aurora. Take shelter immediately.
This is not good.
Here's a video from downtown, on the east side of downtown Huntsville, potentially showing us some of the extent of the damage out there. So far, once again, haven't heard of anything terribly significant, so hopefully this video doesn't change that. Oh, wow. Lots of tree damage, that's for sure. I don't know exactly which part of the east side of Huntsville this is, so we don't know if this is even where the tornado went or if this is associated with the rear flank downdraft or something. But yeah, there's a little bit more significant damage back there. So far, yeah, it looks like we're probably on the outside of the damage path here. So I still don't know exactly what's going on here. But I do want to say something real quick about this video. Usually when we start showing videos like this, I think maybe, it might inspire some people to try to go want to take videos like that. And I do want to say that, like, we do not condone disaster tourism here. Okay, if you have to go through a place, if it's literally your own street or whatever, like certainly, survey the damage, send pictures and videos or whatever. But if you hear that a tornado just hit a town and it's more than a 3-minute walk from your house, don't go looking, don't go, clogging up the streets and making it hard for ambulances and officials to get out there. Okay, you don't have to listen to me, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
A new tornado watch has been issued.
Go ahead, Andy. Oh, never mind. Got me again. Those dang considerable severe thunderstorm warnings. Which, by the way, that one's for Fannin, Gilmer, Lumpkin counties in Georgia. And this is a real Andy. Go ahead.
Yep, I'm the real Andy. And I do think that I'm watching this storm entering Asheville, North Carolina. And from the Morrisville radar, of course, we have to look up a couple tilts. I think that it's bowing out, actually, as it approaches Asheville. So there may actually be a heightened damaging wind threat with the severe thunderstorm warning as it goes through Asheville, areas north towards Weaverville, especially, and the campus there at UNCA. So with any bow echo that I ever talk about on the northern side relative to its progression here, which would put, which I'm talking about closer to Weaverville here, there is a chance of a spin-up tornado. And per mesoanalysis, this area is still somewhat uncapped in the mixed layer cape. So I think that mixing the layer here, which is what a bow echo definitely is good at doing, could produce a spin-up tornado somewhere in here in parts of Buncombe County. So I think it'll be on the northern side of Asheville if there is a spin-up, but primarily a damaging wind threat for those in Asheville. And I think it'll be a little bit more than your regular garden variety severe thunderstorm in this area.
All right. Thank you, meteorologist Andy Hill. Get ready in Asheville and areas near Asheville, near Black Mountain, Hendersonville, big time winds coming through, maybe even a spin-up tornado or two. We want to make sure that you are aware of all of the possible risks. This big line of storms causing wind damage is probably going to also eventually affect Greenville and Charlotte later, which is really similar to what we were dealing with this morning. It's almost like we're repeating it over again here. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan, there's a debris signature west of Hennigar in Alabama here. That's our northeastern Alabama tornado warning. Debris signature there in the hook. That is impressive to me because I can see the outflow boundary way in front of it. So it is still at the surface sucking our way back in there and producing a tornado. So this warning will probably be upgraded by the National Weather Service.
All right, Andy. Thank you. Hennigar, Fairview Central, P Road Crossroads, Biddle Crossroads. All these places are in Georgia, and they are in the path of a tornado, which is now on the ground. This is south of Pisgah, and this is a storm that has done this multiple times. We've seen this produce multiple tornadoes. It's doing it again. Hennigar, Georgia, needs to get underground or in their safe spot as quickly as possible. Okay. We'll likely see an upgraded warning from the National Weather Service here in a bit. Sorry. We'll likely see an upgraded warning from the National Weather Service here in just a little bit. But if not, or until then, just, we know that there's a tornado here. You should take shelter now, if you haven't already. The Huntsville storm is looking less impressive now, so that's good. But we still got rotation. We still got reason to believe that there might be a tornado trying to come down here
A
southeast
new
of
tornado
Maysville.
warning has been issued.
So you guys should stay in your safe spot. We'll see if they reissue that warning for Woodville and Pleasant Groves. But now we have the official. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So we've got an observed warning now for Garth, Trenton, Pleasant Groves, and Tupelo, Alabama. And
New
okay,
information.
yeah, there we go.
This
Now we've got
tornado warning
an
has been
observed warning,
upgraded.
I think, for Madison County, Alabama, which is the Hennigar storm. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Ryan, unfortunately, on the latest scan there with a deep correlation coefficient lowering and a VRAT of 52 knots, this would warrant a PDS warning if following the National Weather Service standards here. So if we get an upgrade for that, that is the reason why, as this has a 61 decibel debris ball and reflectivity now. So definitely warrants an upgrade, I think, for Hennigar, Alabama. You have a couple of minutes as this tornado is right outside of town.
Please get to shelter if you're in Hennigar. And by the way, guys, that was this is still not upgraded from the National Weather Service to confirmed. That was whatever this is. We do want you to get to shelter in Gurley and Trenton over here, but I think we have a much better case for there being a big tornado on the ground over here in coming over towards Hennigar and Fairview within the next couple of minutes, maybe even less time than that. Okay, maybe this one.
New information.
Okay, yes,
This tornado
is,
warning
actually
has been
at
upgraded.
DeKalb in Jackson County, Alabama, now under a confirmed tornado warning. This is an incredibly dangerous situation for you if you're in Townsend Crossroads, P Ridge Crossroads, Hennigar, of course, and Elliott Crossroads. Take shelter now. The correlation coefficient drop continues to grow. We got new debris being lofted into the air currently. We think this is currently doing damage right now. So let me bring you over a little bit farther to. Let me just read you off some potential landmarks that this could be near. Okay, tornado on the ground here, probably coming into Hennigar right now, near the Hennigar High School or the Hennigar School. It'll go over past the Hennigar Municipal Court, and then if it goes in the same direction that it's been going. Sorry, hold on. Then we'll likely see it go down there towards the Bama Boys Barbecue and the Hennigar Eye Clinic. All right, beyond that, it's going to continue to go in the general direction of Elliott Crossroads, New Home, and P Ridge Crossroads. This is a big, nasty tornado. Take shelter now. I don't want to leave you guys out over here with this storm near Gurley. Brad Arnold's on it. He hasn't came over the radar or the radio so far, I think.
Ryan, we are looking due northwest into this tornado warning storm right now. So if there's any...
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him, and he's right underneath the daggone thing. So if there's a tornado down with this one, I don't know. I don't know for sure about it, but we do have the confirmation here from the National Weather Service, emergency management, confirmed tornado. So we do need you to get in your safe spots down there in Paint Rock, Garth, Pleasant Groves, and Larkinsville and Limrock again. This is a pretty dangerous storm for you guys as well, but I'm telling y'all, if there's a tornado with both of these, it's just much easier to see, and it's probably bigger, the one over here to the east. So that's why we're kind of hoping that we're reaching these people in Hennigar, because this might be a life-threatening situation over here between Hennigar, Townsend Crossroads, and the I-59 corridor between Hammondville and Sulphur Springs Station in Alabama. Please take shelter if you haven't already. I'm going to ask Brad if he's seen anything. Brad, you seen anything? My gosh. Caleb's got flooding. What's crazy to see is the water is still. So the water's rising fast, but it's still, a lot of times in a flash flooding situation like this, you'll see it moving pretty quickly. So thankfully, nowhere where Caleb is, we have like the swift water problems. But that might change.
Hey, Ryan, we're looking directly at it. I know it's a confirmed tornado. I'm a little bit suspect of that looking at radar. I have not seen anything, obviously some very low-hanging clouds, so I could see how you would get confused. We just lost power here. 1 second.
That was a roller coaster of emotions, Brad. Anyways, we just saw the power go out there near Brad. So, something's going on out there. We got an emergency management confirmed tornado. Regardless of what we're seeing and what we're seeing on radar and stuff, we still need to respect this tornado warning and take it seriously in Woodville and Pleasant Groves. But once again, I do think we have a much better case for there being a big tornado down over here near Hennegar. So that's why I'm kind of focusing on it. Townsend Crossroads, Pea Ridge Crossroads, you guys are next in line. We got a big debris ball here. And what that means is we've got debris being lofted into the air, and it's being mistaken almost as a really dense area of hail or precipitation within the storm. So we've got the tornado sucking up debris, and we can see that very clearly on the radar here. Moving into Elliott Crossroads now. So take shelter all the way down there towards Battelle, Kaolin,
Hey, sorry about that.
and
So
Hammondville.
we did lose power when I was sending that message. But no, I don't see, I was investigating a little bit more once we lost power to see if that was what it was. I don't see a tornado on the ground with this. It looks very unorganized on radar. I will let you know if I see anything. We see obviously some low-hanging clouds, but I do not see a tornado on the ground.
All right. Thank you very much, Brad. So take shelter anyways in Woodville and Limrock and Larkinsville, but we'll let you know if that looks a little bit more serious. Unfortunately, it looks very serious for you guys in Stamp, New Home, Council Bluff, and of course Elliott Crossroads over here in eastern Alabama near Valley Head. Wow. Okay.
New information. This tornado warning has been upgraded.
Well, that's... Let me make sure that this is the right one. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's... Okay, and we have a tornado emergency now. I'm sorry. There's a lot going on here. We have a tornado emergency now for our storm that we've been watching for a while, this includes Elliott Crossroads, Townsend Crossroads, Stamp, Hammondville, Mentone, Kaolin, and Battelle. Tornado emergency. These warnings are the highest level warnings that you could possibly issue. All right. We know we only get these warnings whenever potentially catastrophic tornadoes are on the ground, and that's what's happening now in Elliott Crossroads. We probably have an unbelievable amount of damage being done right now between Hennegar and Elliott Crossroads. Let me dive in a little bit more for you here. Highway 40, it's over Highway 40 right now near the Camp Drugs Pharmacy, the Wonder Wash Car Wash. This is a pretty developed area, y'all. We're gonna this will be another area that we're gonna hear about significant damage from, I think. It's gonna continue to move pretty much east southeast, maybe towards Stamp and New Home. So we've got to watch out for places like X Trucking, White House Nursery, Curtains and Bath. All right. If you know where the Stamp Baptist Church is, or if you know where the Crow's Deer Processing Shop is, that's where this tornado is going to be very shortly if it's not there already. If you're just now tuning in, this is happening right now in East Alabama, in DeKalb County, Alabama. We have a tornado emergency for Elliott Crossroads and New Home out over towards Hammondville and Mentone. We think that tornado is pretty close to the BYUTI shop and X Trucking right now. Wow. The debris signature continues to look larger too as it continues to move off to the south and east. The community of Stamp and New Home is in an incredibly dangerous situation. I want to make it very clear that if you are in the path of this thing, you are in probably. And I've said this before today for other areas, and it's been true each time. For you specifically, you're in one of the more dangerous situations you'll ever find yourself in your life, and you've got to, take shelter and, try to survive. If you get hit directly by a big, violent tornado like this one could be, you can't do it in the living room next to the window. You got to get into the basement or a storm cellar, or you got to get into the most interior room of your home and wear a helmet, or get the mattress off of the bed and cover your head, pillows, blankets, whatever you can. Put as much cushion between you and something falling on you as possible. If you're down here towards Kaolin and Battelle and this makes it to you, you've got a really good heads up here. You've got time to put on shoes, closed-toed shoes, get that helmet, bring a charged phone with you into your safe spot. That way, if your house is damaged by this tornado, you can evacuate and not worry about walking over glass or screws or splintered wood, whatever it is, and your bare feet. And you also need to bring a jacket or a poncho or something, and you'll have some way of getting a hold of people via your cell phone if you bring all that stuff with you now. Put the babies in the car seat. All right, take that with you in your safe spot, into your safe spot. Bring your pets, all that kind of stuff. You've got time way over there towards Battelle and Kaolin and Hammondville. You might not have much time in New Home. All right, New Home. Alabama, this thing is knocking on your door, and the community of Stamp as well. Tornadoes likely closer to X Trucking now than it was before. Also, Curtains and Bath, Ridgeview Drive-In Theater. Ridgeview Drive-In Theater, also in the path of this big tornado here that's coming through. Some other landmarks here that might be directly in the path of this thing include American Legion Post 39, the Alabama State Road 30 where it forks with 490, and there's a lot of little campgrounds and communities out here. Trailer parks, unfortunately. The latest scans continue to look pretty concerning. Maybe not as much as it was over here before the tornado warning was or emergency was issued.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
It's still very concerning. We have a large tornado likely still moving into New Home. Take shelter now. Tornado warning in North Carolina. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Ryan. Yep, they went ahead and warned that. That's that northern part of that bow echo that I talked about, right where it would spin up. I don't know how long ago that was, about 15 minutes ago or something, right before we talked about the Hinagar tornado here. And by the way, on that tornado emergency, so y'all take shelter here in eastern Buncombe County, Black Mountain. I know that's populated, and along I-40 for Old Fort and West Marion here. It's going to pass pretty close to you. And for our tornado emergency storm here, which is still on the ground, I believe it's actually deviating to the east right now. On those last few scans, you can see it initially was going southeast, and now it is maybe going a little bit more due east. That would take it a little bit north of Hammondville and Valley Head, but this still has, since this is a strong tornado, undoubtedly, it still has the chance to once again wobble back to the right, which would mean further to the southeast toward Hammondville and Valley Head there in the county. So everybody in the warning and the polygon needs to be taking shelter for that reason. The exact path of the tornado we don't know yet, and it has the chance to switch a few different directions depending on how it detaches from the storm.
Thank you, Andy. Sorry. So we still have a tornado down here, currently producing significant damage in New Home. And like Andy said, we've got to watch out directly to the east and a little bit to the southeast here. Between Townsend Crossroads and Hammondville. This is still on the ground, and it's likely going to stay on the ground for the duration of the time. It's going to be on the Highway 40 corridor here between Hammondville and Stamp, where it is now. So everybody that lives along Highway 40 and draw a daggone 10-mile radius in either direction needs to be underground. And doing everything they can to protect their life and property, as if it's not gotten to you yet, it's coming. Highway 40 next in line, we've got places like the Cordell Cemetery, the Town Creek Field and Farm, Red's Auto Service. Red's Auto Service, this is coming right for you. Additionally, we've got the Lee's Chapel Baptist Church, potentially in the direct path of this tornado. Also some other places that might get hit here is Biddle Gap, Cordell Cemetery once again, and then the Hammondville Quick Stop, if you know where that is. That if it comes into Hammondville, that's where it'll come in from. Everybody from Hammondville, I'm sure, knows where the Hammondville Quick Stop is. The tornado is going to come from the Cordell Cemetery over towards the Hammondville Quick Stop. It'll cross Interstate 59 there somewhere near the Quick Stop, and then go right towards Hammondville, likely coming into town on the side of the Hammondville Church of God, Lyons Road, and Hammondville Branch, that waterway there. So keep that in mind as the tornado emergency is in place. And remember, we only get those whenever we've got big tornadoes. We saw quite a few of these over the past couple of days because we've had a significant tornado outbreak, and the result of almost all of them has been very significant damage. We had a tornado emergency the other day for Barnsdale, Oklahoma, and that turned out to be an EF4 tornado. So we certainly don't want to disregard any tornado emergency out here in Alabama. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, oh my gosh, an area of concern is in Jackson County, North Carolina. You can see it from the Greenville-Spartanburg radar. You don't have to go up in tilts for this one. You can see the velocity clearly there, coming together near Glenville and south of Forest Hills. That's in the mountains right there. So that could, given where we're scanning the velocity signature, that doesn't have to go as far to hit the ground there, and thus could spin up a tornado more easily because it's in a higher elevation. So less of a stretching mechanism is needed there as it approaches Glenville, North Carolina. That's not warned at the moment, and it had a significant uptick on this most recent scan. In addition to that, there's also an area of rotation near Waynesville, which is where my parents are. So I just wanted to tell you guys you'll be okay if you're in the interior hallway where by the bathroom and my dad's room. So if you guys you don't have to go down to the basement because I know it's hard for you to get down there. So you can just be there and you'll be totally fine. The rotation doesn't look too strong.
All right. Thank you so much, Andy. We got to be on our toes here, ready to take shelter. Honestly, I would go ahead and take shelter just south of Forest Hills towards Big Ridge Indian Place and Island Ford and Wolf Mountain in North Carolina. That looks like a pretty significant storm. Also, the winds associated with the tornado warning coming down Black Mountain right now are probably going to be pretty significant near Old Fort, Davidstown, White House, and Vane Mountain in North Carolina. You guys, rotation looks a little bit less significant there, but it still looks like a strong storm. Take shelter now. Back to our catastrophic tornado that's likely still ongoing here between New Home and Council Bluff in Alabama. We've got a continued signature here that continues to look like we have a tornado down. This is once again about to cross Interstate 59, somewhere near that quick stop near Hammondville. All right. Beyond that, if this thing sticks around, and today we've seen tornadoes stick around for a while. We've seen that happen, but we haven't seen really long track ones like maybe some of the other storms that we've tracked in the past. But if this thing does stick around, then it's eventually going to go towards maybe all the way down towards Head River, Neal Crossing, and Harrisburg in Georgia. But in the near future, Hammondville and Kaolin need to be taking shelter. And if you're not there yet, you need to run, not walk. Deep debris signature there on one of the more recent scans. Still doing damage out here. This is how we know for sure that we've got a big bad tornado on the ground. This is showing us that there is stuff in the air that should not be there. Thanks to a tornado, a strong one, that's once again moving across Interstate 59 now. Next in line, after it gets past that Hammondville area, some other landmarks that this is going to go by if it's still on the ground. Near Mentone, all right, we got the Brow Park, and we've got Camp Laney. All right. This could go near you. It also could go over there right past the Seinfeld at Fulcor Forest and on the rocks. If you guys know where this stuff is, there's a bunch of cabins over here. This is a big campground area. I don't know if this is season for that, but you really hope there's not a bunch of RVs out in this area. That would be a worst case scenario. We're hearing from the DeKalb County Fire Department that there's major damage along Alabama Highway 75 at Lacey Road. Got trees down on mobile homes. They're starting search and rescue, and all of this is coming out of the Henniger area, which, likely took a pretty good hit from this tornado moments ago. Our catastrophic tornado emergency level warning is going to be allowed to expire in 6 minutes. We'll see what kind of replacement we get for that. They'll likely issue some sort of warning that goes over into Georgia. Wow.
A new PDS tornado warning.
Okay, so it looks
has
like
been
that
issued.
extension is going to be a PDS tornado warning. We got the first half of that now, which is also in effect for Hammondville, Mentone, and Kaolin. We'll get the second half of that in a moment whenever the other warning office coordinates and does their polygon. I'm sure that we're going to get this extended into Georgia a little bit. Velocity continues to show a concerning signature. Correlation coefficient still shows that we have damage that's being done by the tornado. There's a chance that this is going to lift at some point here, but as of right now, I've got no real confidence to say that for sure this is off the ground. This is going over Interstate 59 now towards Mentone and Kaolin in Alabama. You've got to get to shelter now. We're hearing that the EOC, Emergency Operations Command Center in, I guess, Henniger is being activated. Lots of damage reports coming out of Henniger, Alabama. This is all happening in Alabama here with this tornado emergency and now PDS tornado warning. What you're looking at on your screen here is the supercell that has produced multiple tornadoes across Alabama. This is the same storm that produced a tornado in Huntsville earlier.
A new PDS tornado warning has been issued.
All right, there's your PDS tornado warning that goes out into Georgia now. Chattanooga County and Walker County, Georgia. You're under a PDS tornado warning as this storm is going to make it into Georgia and impact areas like Gulf Mountain, Neal Crossing, Harrisburg, Center Post, Welcome Hill, Treon, and Pennville. Take shelter now if you haven't already. You've got some time. If this thing, produces a tornado for that long, it'll be maybe 50 minutes from now before this gets all the way down there to Neal Crossing and Treon. If this produces a tornado for that long, you've got plenty of time to prepare now for that. Okay? Once again, I'm going to go over this stuff again for you guys. If you're just now tuning in, you need to put on a pair of closed-toed shoes, get a helmet, some soft stuff, some pillows, blankets, whatever you've got to protect your head. You got to get into a basement or the most interior room of your house and put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Bring me with you on a charged phone or tablet with cellular connection. And you're going to want to bring clothes that you wouldn't mind getting wet. You want to put the babies in the car seat. You want to put the pets on the leash, and you want to bring them with you into your safe spot. And you want to make sure that you have whatever you need to be there for the next hour. And whatever you need to be able to evacuate for your home in the event where the walls have fallen down, if that makes sense. Not trying to scare you, and there's a good chance that this storm will dissipate before it gets to Treon or at least stop producing a tornado. But if it doesn't, if you take all of those steps right now, if you are prepared, you've got a much better chance of coming out of this in a better situation than if you were to be surprised or rushed in the process of taking shelter. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, I hate to say this, but the cell back behind to the north and west of our previous tornado emergency here is going to come out of the mountains here that Brad Arnold noted, and onto the Sand Mountain Plateau, which is where this tornado occurred, and numerous others have seemed to occur in a higher frequency right along State Highway 75 here, Rainsville notably, and now Hennegar and Eider and Flat Rock. I've seen it 1,000 times. So this storm is going to come out of the mountains and onto this same area here, where I'm not sure if the outflow boundary is too cold from the leading storm here, or if it will have the chance to do something similar in a similar environment as it approaches these same areas once again, and perhaps just a little bit to the south. If it starts to pull in the boundary just like this last one did, then I hope we don't have to look at a similar situation here with that storm, but it will track in the same line here.
Thank you so much, meteorologist Andy Hill. Scottsboro, unfortunately, you guys are probably going to end up in another tornado warning here. And then also, unfortunately, we might have to really lock into this storm again if we start to see a similar situation unfold here. This looks eerily similar to the storm that just produced the damage near Hennegar. But we're going to hope for the best and hope that it continues to look disorganized. And we're also going to hope that this right here, this little outflow boundary, is way out in front of this thing on the next couple of scans. And for whatever reason, the storm isn't able to sneak in any warm air from out in front of that. Because if the rain-cooled air goes out in front of this storm, the tornado threat really decreases with it. Okay? We still have a pretty serious situation, though, down here a little bit farther to the south and east, once again with our PDS tornado warning. It certainly doesn't look as convincing as it once did, but we got to remember that we're a little bit farther away from the radar now. And we still see a velocity couplet. We still see, rotation. We still see debris. So I don't really have anything new to tell you other than this still looks like a pretty concerning situation for our folks here in Mentone. And it's going to go over towards Harrisburg and Neal Crossing next. It's going to cross the border here between Georgia and Alabama very soon. We are getting official reports now that there are multiple mobile homes turned over in Henniker. There's people trapped with injuries. I think, once again, some very significant damage just occurred near Henniker. Here's a video near Scottsboro earlier. So this is going to be associated with the storm that eventually went on to produce the tornado near Henniker. It looks like this is east of Scottsboro, so probably right before it got into Henniker. Looks like it was probably producing a tornado there, or at least beginning to produce one. And of course, it looks like it's huge. That video. That video is from James Keel, once again, near Scottsboro. Scanner reports heavy damage in Henniker, Alabama from the large tornado. Guys, this is, I don't know when obviously in single day tornado outbreaks, we've had a lot of tornado emergencies before, but over the past 3 days, I think we've had now 4 or 5 tornado emergencies, which is, which is really, it's really crazy. Those are not common. Go ahead, Riley.
Yeah, Ryan, just a little info on the amount of tornado emergencies we've had in the last 3 days. Since they've added more specific requirements for the tornado emergency, which that happened back in around 2012, this is the first time we've ever had 3 consecutive days of tornadoes emergencies. The only other time that happened was back in the 1980s.
Wow. All right, thank you, Riley. So, yeah, once again, a huge multi-day severe weather outbreak. We're right in the middle of it here, and I'm glad to say that it'll be mostly over after tomorrow. And we might get a little bit of a break in severe weather for a little bit of time before we head into late May. Hopefully. I think we could all use it. The tornado signature here that I'm seeing coming into Georgia now is a little bit less concerning, just based off of the latest scans here. We still have a PDS tornado warning for Harrisburg-Neal Crossing in Georgia. But I think it's important to note that this looks like it might be weakening. Now, is that a phase? Is it going to start ramping back up? Probably. So let's not
a new tornado warning
get too
has
caught
been
up
issued.
with that. But still, hopefully that trend continues. And of course, the path that tornado just took, the tornado warning behind it's going to take the same exact path. We've got a new tornado warning for Scottsboro again, Henniker, Fairview, Elliott Crossroads, Stamp, all these places that just got hit by a tornado. You're now under a new tornado warning. So we've got emergency officials out there. We've got fire departments. We've got so many people who are doing search and rescue and a big recovery effort right now in Henniker. We need to make sure that they know that there's a new tornado warning. Now, it's going to be 30, 40 minutes before that storm gets there. I don't think there's any need to run to shelter, but it's definitely something where we've got to stop doing whatever we're doing and then get shelter, continue our planning there, and then come back out once this storm has passed. Because, you don't want a situation where you've got people trapped, you've got this big disaster going on, now you've got all the people coming to help, and then another disaster happens. All right, and then, then we need people from far away to come help. You know what I mean? So we got to protect those people who are there to help. Go ahead, Riley.
Hey Ryan, just an update on our flash flood emergencies. For some reason, we have lost all information and updates from the stream gauges in the area. The only other time I've seen a stream gauge stop providing data is during Hurricane Ian. So it really takes a lot for a stream gauge to stop reporting data. So that's kind of signaling to me that we probably have some sort of large debris in the waterway that would have hit the river gauge and like actually taken out the box physically.
All right, thank you for the update, Riley, and thanks for reminding me to go back up here. I want to remind everyone that, of course, we have the really unfortunate situation going on down here in Alabama and Georgia with the tornadoes. Obviously, that's going to be our main focus here for the next little bit. But we also have catastrophic flooding underway in northern portions of Tennessee, specifically north of Nashville, near Springfield and Greenbrier. And I've got bad news for the residents here. Some new convection is popping up back here near Pleasant View with a lot of heavy rain, and it's going to move right over the waterways once again, leading to some places to probably receive or have received 10 or more inches of rain by the time this specific storm is over. And that's not it, okay? All of this extremely heavy rain that's back here and all of these storms that are back here, all of this is going to converge on the greater northern Nashville area and add insult to injury. If you're in a home right now in Springfield, Portland, Cross Plains, any of these places in the flash flood emergency right now, and you're watching the water and it's like, okay, it's coming up a little bit, but it's still down there, add feet to whatever you're looking at, because the water is going to rise significantly as we get more rain.
Hey, Ryan, when you have a second while you're talking about the flash flood.
Yeah, go ahead, Caleb.
Hey, Ryan, I just wanted to update you on what we're currently seeing here in the Springfield area. Just within the last little bit while I've been driving around, there's been significantly more structures and vehicles that we've come across that are completely flooded out. We've also seen the water rise probably another 2 or 3 feet. It has actually almost crested the road here. You can see we have about another maybe 1.5 feet until it pops up over that sidewalk. And then pretty much once it breaks that sidewalk, it's going to be into neighborhoods, businesses, and really just start to cause a lot more issues for this community.
Absolutely. Thank you for the update, Caleb. And once again, we know you know what you're doing out there, but just a reminder to be safe when this next downpour starts and the water starts rising really fast again. Things can go south really fast, so just maintain situational awareness and keep sending us these pictures and stuff, obviously, because it's important, but keep yourself safe out there in a very dangerous situation now north of Nashville, where we have a flash flood emergency, which is also a rare thing. Scottsboro. I hope that you're in your safe spot. The storm that's coming across Scottsboro, the hook looks really impressive again, as it does look like maybe a new tornado is trying to form here. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on there, but we've seen this happen a million times. Hopefully it's not, but we could have a new tornado forming here between Scottsboro and Bellefonte in Alabama. It's going towards Pisgah. You guys need to stay in your safe spots. The PDS tornado warning has been allowed to expire. We now have a radar-indicated tornado warning for Gulf Mountain and Center Post. So we do believe that the tornado is lifted here that caused all the damage near Henniger as it's entered Georgia, thankfully. Now, this is still a supercell capable of producing a new tornado. So if we are in Center Post, Martindale, Welcome Hill, or Tryon in Georgia, we still need to be in our safe spots for the next 34 minutes, and then we'll reassess the situation. Brad, one of the reasons we haven't heard from Brad Arnold is because he's telling me that he cannot send or receive Zello messages right now because all cell towers have been switched to emergency support. by the way, we only have tornado warnings right now associated with the storms that we're tracking in Alabama and Georgia. All of the tornado warnings that we had in Texas and Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois earlier, all that stuff's gone. We've got a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings with those storms now, but there's no immediate concern for a new tornado warning with any of these storms, I don't think, in the near future. So that's good news. But severe thunderstorms, flash flooding, that's going to be the big thing now, I think, in places like Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Probably the biggest storm that you've seen all day is moving in right now, capable of producing quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a ton of rain. If you're experiencing flooding already in Hopkinsville, more is on the way. Strong storm moving into Cleveland, Georgia, capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. No tornado threat there for the most part. This is what these storms look like out there at night in Georgia, the severe thunderstorms. They're big ones. Hail, wind, the whole 9 yards. But thankfully, we're not dealing with too much in the way of flooding. In the way of tornadoes, at least with these storms that are coming through northern Georgia and the northwestern portions of South Carolina. Once again, I got to mention how lucky Chattanooga is. I think you guys really, out of everybody in Tennessee, East Tennessee, Northeast Alabama, Northwest Georgia today, even West North Carolina, I think you guys fared very well. You got all the storms went right around Chattanooga for the most part. So, good. That's good. We'll keep rooting for you for the rest of the night. Today has been one of the wildest streams I think we've ever had. This is going to go down in the archive as one of the craziest streams that we've ever had. We've been doing this for 40 months, and I've been flabbergasted a couple times during this stream. Here's some damage coming in from Connie Rabbit from the Scottsboro, Alabama area. Huge tree uprooted there. Yeah, honestly, yeah, this week has been wild. Also, Caleb Beecham still out there chasing the flash flooding situation. He sent us this photo of Hull Force 1 next to the floods. You can also see all of the technology inside of Hull Force 1. And if you zoom in just enough, you can see meteorologist Andy Hill staring at you through the window of Hull Force 1. Here's some more of the flooding from Caleb. And then he's got another video too. We're going to show that right here in a moment. If you're just now tuning in, we're continuing our wall-to-wall severe weather coverage of a major severe weather and tornado outbreak that's been happening in portions of... Let me think here. Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. There's a lot of severe weather that has happened today. The most of it, the worst of it, I guess I should say, has been over here in southeast Tennessee or south central Tennessee, northern Alabama, and northwest Georgia, where we've had a regional tornado outbreak. Sorry, I'm just reading some info that's coming in here. We've received, or the Storm Prediction Center has received a total of 532 severe weather reports today. Just so everybody knows, we're obviously still watching our tornado warnings down here, but thankfully they're looking a lot less bad. They're still bad, and we need you in your safe spots down here if you're under a tornado warning, but they're not nearly as concerning as they were just a few moments ago. I don't know how long that'll last, but I'm using this moment to breathe, and you should too. Christopher says, I know exactly how exhausting it can be to be this switched on and interpreting data for so long. You guys are doing an absolutely incredible job. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. This is our third day in a row, spending most of the day live, reporting on severe weather, and each day has had a really, somber tone towards the end because we've had really bad things that's happened during each stream. Real quick, if anybody is, if anybody has Discord and you're new here, I do want to mention that we have a Discord server. We'll have the mods post a link in the chat right now, just in case anybody's interested in going over there. Got a really active community of about 24,000 weather nerds in there. It's kind of like the chat, but it's always on, even when I'm not live. You know what I mean? Actually, it's not exactly like the chat, but you know what I mean. You get it. Hopefully you get it. tornado warning continues for Chattanooga County, Georgia, and Walker County, Georgia, DeKalb County, Alabama, and Jackson County, Alabama. I'm going to, sit here and monitor these for the next 23 minutes. And then if we get a moment where we don't have a really concerning looking tornado warning, I want to do the thing where I go over all of the current severe weather warnings, and then we might focus a little bit more on the flash flooding situation there with Caleb. Once again, this stream's going to keep going at least for the next hour to hour and a half, but it will not go any longer than that. We're not going to go over 12 hours. So severe weather could continue tonight even after I end the stream. So make sure you have a way of getting warnings tonight when I go off the air. So the Henniker emergency services and fire department, they're having a hard time getting to the calls because all the roads are blocked. Henniker is now calling for all available departments in the area to come assist. Lucy's branch, where's that? Hold on. This is a video. Sorry. This is a video from earlier today near Athens, I think. Athens, Alabama, of the tornado that happened over there. Channel 3 News is saying that tornado hit Henniker, obviously, with damage. According to the reports, the sheriff has reported that the roads are so bad emergency crews can't get in. Also, damage and injuries near Piscay, and just got another tornado warning. So, yeah, so that's coming from Channel 3 News. There is currently a tornado warning still for Henniker, even though we've got all of these emergency response operations going on. But the good news is it looks less, it doesn't look as bad. It looks like it's outflow dominant. I finally see that outflow boundary almost completely closing in around what would normally be considered the hook. But now it's not a hook, it's a backwards hook, right? It's a dog leg. It's crooked. That's a telltale sign a lot of times of a storm going more outflow dominant. We're seeing a similar sign on our storm to the east in Georgia. I don't want to call this over or anything just yet, but I do think that we might be reaching a point of maybe a little bit less activity with these specific storms down here, which is good. We need that. All right, Riley, let's just go down to the live camera in Christian County, Kentucky, and Caleb Beecham in 1 and 2. Also getting reports now that there are a couple houses completely destroyed in Henniger. Houses are destroyed. Major damage in Henniger, Alabama. So if you're just now tuning in, we are hopefully reaching the point of the stream where we don't have any more tornado emergencies. Unfortunately, though, the severe weather threat is going to continue for quite some time. And what I'm going to do right now, because we only have radar-indicated tornado warnings that will both be allowed to expire in less than 15 minutes. I'm going to go from west to east. I'm going to go over all of our current severe warnings, and then maybe we'll talk about tomorrow as well. I know a lot of you are concerned and interested in tomorrow, unless we're interrupted by another big tornado trying to happen. And then, of course, we're going to tell you some more information that we have compiled on what's going on in Henniger and the areas that just got hit by massive tornadoes. All right, so starting over here near Little Rock, just to the north and west of Little Rock, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Conway. Conway, Mayflower, and Holland. There is a severe thunderstorm warning. You got quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds coming. Pangburn Pangburn in Arkansas. You guys are also under a severe thunderstorm warning that's coming for you. Big storm, honestly, coming through Wynne, Arkansas. This is a place that got hit by a tornado. We covered this with Chris Hall and Brett Adair during the March 31st tornado outbreak. I'm very familiar with this area. We also responded here with the Y'all Squad. But right now there's a really strong storm going through Wynne, moving towards Parkin, Earl, and Crawfordsville with 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for Parkin, Earl, Jeanette, and Crawfordsville in Arkansas. You want to take shelter for that kind of storm. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for Kennett and Marmaduke as well. We want you guys to take shelter over here in Arkansas. Way over here in Tennessee, northwest Tennessee, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning with 1-inch in diameter hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds moving into Union City. We got our radar Omega camera showing us the lightning associated with that. Murray, Kentucky, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning. You are also under a flash flood warning. Okay, so get ready for more rain and the waters to rise again. I've got some good news, I guess, for our flash flood emergency here. It's not great because we still have some really heavy rain impacting at least part of the warning. However, I'm not seeing nearly as much new convection happening immediately to the southwest here that I thought that we would. Now, it's still not over. Unfortunately, we've got a lot more rain compiling back here. This is all going to go through the flash flood emergency. There will be several more inches of rain that fall in Springfield, Cross Plains, and Westmoreland tonight. However, the bigger break we get, where we don't have these big, massive downpours, there's going to be time for runoff to kind of irrigate itself into different channels as the water goes into the different waterways. And the more time that water from the top of the hill has to get to the bottom of the hill before new water falls at the top of the hill, the better chance we're going to have of maybe not seeing a really significant rise in the water. However, simply because the ground is super saturated, not even considering runoff, whenever these next rain showers come in, those water levels are going to shoot up again fast if they're starting to go down now. And some of the smaller tributaries and stuff, that's probably starting to happen. So keep that in mind. The flash flood emergency is going to continue for the next 9 hours for a reason. All right, so we're going to keep you updated on that. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere east of Union City, really, in Tennessee. We've got a ton of flash flood warnings all across. Tennessee. But all of these storms right now that are moving into Knoxville and down there towards McMinnville, all these places, these are just bringing rain and some gusty winds right now. They're not really severe at all. We do still have a tornado warning for Henniger. And Henniger is in Alabama. This is the place that was just hit by the tornado. That tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire in 11 minutes. We still got a little bit of rotation here, but I'm really thinking that this storm is mostly outflow dominant now, so I don't think that Henniger is going to get hit by another tornado. However, I do think that there's going to be a strong storm that comes nearby that's capable of producing ping pong ball size hail, 60 mile per hour winds, and some heavy rain. So that's going to add lots of problems to the efforts, the recovery efforts that are ongoing right now down here in Alabama. We have a continuing tornado warning for Martindale, Georgia. We still got rotation. We need you in your safe spots. We'll see if they reissue that for Waterville, Suttles Mill, and East Armuchee. Not sure if I'm saying that right. Within the next little bit. And we've got an update from meteorologist Andy Hill. Go ahead.
Hey Ryan, it pains me to say this, but I think there may be a tornado starting south of Henniger and north of Sylvania here in Alabama. There's a tiny couplet, but it is strong, and I think we may see a debris show up on the correlation coefficient on the next scan here. I think that it might be an ongoing tornado.
All right, thank you, Andy. We noticed earlier how the outflow boundary seemed to be in front of this little dogleg thing. Notice how as I push this forward, there's definitely a little bit of an opening here. So maybe the rain-cooled air, for some reason this thing is got so much suction power, it's allowing for some warm air to get in there, and we might have a new tornado forming, or that has just formed here between Elliott Crossroads and Brook Crossroads in south of Fairview near Henniger. So obviously we want you to stay in your safe spots. Don't come out in Henniger or Stamp or any of these places. But we might even have an actual tornado coming back together now as well. That means if they're probably going to issue a new warning here that goes out to Valley Head and Hammondville, which is another place that probably is done with tornado warnings tonight. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they might issue a new warning here soon. Martindale, once again, you guys need to be in your safe spot. I don't know if they'll issue a new warning for Stutz Mill and Waterville, but they might. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey Ryan, go ahead and flick to the correlation coefficient on our newest scan, which was not but 20 seconds ago. There's a debris ball there south of Henniger, so a new tornado is ongoing. I expect an upgrade to the warning and or an extension out to Hammondville, Valley Head, once again in Alabama in DeKalb County.
All right, thank you very much, meteorologist Andy Hill. There it is. You can see it there. So this is another pretty dangerous situation here in Alabama, where we're definitely going to need a new tornado warning here that probably encompasses Stamp, New Hope, Hammondville, and Valley Head once again. This overall signature doesn't look like something that maybe is going to last a long time, but we can't assume that kind of stuff. Let's just go ahead and assume that it is going to be down there as it goes towards Hammondville, and take shelter now. This is the tiny little indicator that we that's how we know that we've got a tornado there. All right, so we're going to go back to that, but I'm on a mission here. West to east, we're just about done. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning for East Armuchee and Pratersville. That's going to have 60 mile per hour winds. Same thing for you guys in down here in Jasper. Quarter size hail is possible with that in the next 22 minutes. Delongia, same thing, 60 mile per hour winds, quarter size hail. Gainesville, Gainesville, Georgia. Just to your north and east, there's a severe thunderstorm causing problems in Lula. We're about to get a new tornado warning, I think.
A new tornado warning
for this
has
is for
been issued.
DeKalb County, Alabama, so they went ahead and reissued that warning all the way out there to Hammondville and Valley Head. This is a radar-indicated warning. They didn't pull the trigger on the confirmation, but we do believe that we have a tornado down here, or at least we did moments ago, and we need to take, you know, the extra precautions that come along with that. If you're a resident down here in Stamp and New Hope and areas to the south and east of Henniger, in Alabama. Seneca, South Carolina, you guys have gotten a strong storm headed towards you. 60-mile-per-hour winds is possible over the next 51 minutes. That'll make it all the way down there to Livonia in Georgia. Now, Greenville, South Carolina. You're also under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That'll get there in about 30 minutes. The storms that are coming off the Appalachian Mountains now from North Carolina down into South Carolina and also towards Winston-Salem, High Point, and Charlotte, North Carolina. These storms are no longer at severe limits, it seems, but they're still probably packing gusts of wind near 40 miles per hour, maybe even higher, and maybe some very small hail, and certainly lots of lightning and rain. So get ready for that over the next hour or so in Gastonia, Mooresville, Statesville, Winston-Salem, Greensboro, Charlotte, and all these places in North Carolina. All right, we did it. Also, I want to remind everybody, this has been an incredible week of severe weather. We've got we've got a lot of people who are displaced, homeless, without vehicles, without homes, without a lot of things. Maybe some of these people don't have insurance. Maybe some of these people are not going to receive federal assistance. We're going to be looking for those people. If you're new here, you might not know this. We have a 501c3 nonprofit organization called the Y'all Squad. And that's that number that you see up there on the top of your screen, $93,000. That's how much we've raised over the past couple of days during these severe weather live streams to help people that have been impacted by severe weather. What we're going to do is we're going to go to these communities. It might take us a long time. There's so many that we need to go to over such a large area. This one might take us a little while, all right? But we are going to go to all the communities. We've already been to Barnsdall, Oklahoma. We're going to go to Michigan. We're going to go to Ohio. We're going to go to, Alabama, Tennessee. We're going to go to all these places, and we're going to spend that money in whatever way makes the most sense to help as many people as possible. We're already talking to emergency managers about it, and we're trying to find the right people, the right places, and everything. So just a reminder, thank you to everybody that has contributed to this. You're helping a lot of people. And if you would like to contribute yourself and you'd like to help us, go to theyallsquad.org and make a tax-deductible donation to our 501c3 nonprofit organization. Once again, over at theyallsquad.org. The mods should spam that link in the chat right now, so you can just click it and go over there. Hopefully it would be really cool to see the 100,000 number tonight if we can come together. And I think we could get, if we all gave a penny that are here right now, we'd get over that. But if we all gave $1, we might even get close to the 200,000 number, which would go a long ways amongst these communities that are in need now after these really strong storms have just hit. So yeah, that link's getting spammed in the chat now. You can click that and go to theyallsquad.org. Simply
Hey, Ryan, you got a copy?
says, can you tell me if Memphis is about to get hit? I'm guessing you're talking about Memphis, Tennessee, and the answer is yes. There's a pretty strong storm, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for areas just west of Memphis. This will come towards Memphis over the next hour or so. We will keep you updated on that. Caleb's got an update for us. Caleb, I don't know if you can hear me right now or not, but I heard your thing. You can go ahead and come through whenever you're ready. Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm doing some driving just south of Springfield right now, and I'm starting to come across some areas that have actually completely eroded out the area along the side of the road. So parts of the road are falling off, and this isn't even in that main flood zone. This is just going to be runoff that was running down towards creeks and streams that were flowed. So we can only imagine the substantial water has come up over the road that we're into tomorrow when the water starts to recede. Before already seeing that with just the runoff water. Yeah, Ryan, I just driving here just to the south of Springfield. I'm trying to do some kind of...
All right, thank you, Caleb, for that update. By the way, Storm Chaser Caleb Beecham is in the flash flood emergency that's ongoing here between Springfield, Portland, and Westmoreland in Tennessee. More rain's on the way, but honestly, by some miracle, there's a dry slot that is kind of pointing right towards that area. So everything that we've been saying all day is happening. All of this moisture is converging on the flash flood emergency zone, but it looks like it's mostly kind of avoided it so far. At some point, we are going to get more rain there, though, and any extra raindrop we get in this area is going to lead to more significant flash flooding. Memphis, you're now under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds, maybe some small hail, but mostly the 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's what we're concerned about in Memphis, Tennessee, over the next little bit, specifically over the next 44 minutes. That's how long this severe thunderstorm warning lasts here, so get ready. That storm's going to come in fast. It's going to be packing a punch. One remaining tornado warning. And it is the storm that has, caused another little tornado there near Henniger recently. I don't know if it's still producing a tornado now, but if it is, it's going to be coming near Hammondville and Mentone soon. So be in your safe spots, but hopefully, this is going to expire at some point, and that'll be it for the night as far as tornado warnings go. But probably not. We're probably at least going to get a couple more tornado warnings tonight, so just keep that in mind as we continue our coverage here. We've been going for 11 hours straight now. We're going to keep going for a little while longer, but I do want to remind everyone that we will absolutely not be going over 12 hours. So just go ahead and prepare yourselves for that. I get all kinds of hate messages whenever we end the stream. Right before the severe thunderstorm warning got to my county, you went off there. You should read some of these messages. I should post them sometime. I understand your quarrels with it. I wish we could go longer, but it's not good for us. And it's also it keeps the for some reason YouTube won't archive the stream if it goes over 12 hours. So we want to make sure we have this to go back and look at and learn from for years to come.